when you say there are people on stage who shouldn't be running for president, who do you mean? Whatever happened to Mike Pence? He's out there attacking you. What is that? Do you think Epstein...
What is that? What's that about? What's going on? Oh, by the way, what's the deal with Tucker Carlson showing Trump's bald spot? You think they did it on purpose? What was the deal with that? Why would you shoot him like that and then, and then not just like in your little ad, just like push the frame in a little so they couldn't see it? Why would somebody do that? Why would you do such a thing?
Killed himself sincerely. Do you think we're moving towards civil war?
We had the best economy.
It's good to have you at Bedminster. It's very nice.
I love it. You're saying
I love it. I like
they stole it from you last time. Why wouldn't they do the same this time?
Oh, well, they'll try. They're going to be trying. Mitch McConnell was trying to get senators to impeach me. Crooked Joe Biden is so bad. He's the worst president in the history of our country.
Wow, he's not pulling any punches, and he's saying all the new stuff that you expect him to say with the new things. This is going to be exciting.
I don't think he's going to make it to the gate, but, you never know.
It started...
I don't think you'll make it to the gate, but you never know.
Protests against you, then it moved to impeachment twice,
right?
And now indictment. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you?
Yeah, why would they try to kill you? I mean, honestly, why would they just murder you? Like right now. Maybe I'm here to murder you. You ever think about that? What's the deal with that?
Honestly.
They're savage animals.
They're savage animals. If they were savage animals, why would they use the courts to get rid of you? Honestly. Ask Prigozhin. You fly all the time in a private plane. If somebody wanted to get rid of you just because fuck you, they'd have done it.
They are...
Jewish space lasers, anyone? I mean, come on.
Are people that are sick.
So
they are sick people.
Do you think it's possible that there's open conflict?
I can...
Do you think that Tucker's body language, where he's laying back away from Trump and Trump is leaning into him, and Tucker Carlson has his arms crossed and he's sitting back, shows an aversion to this disgusting farty man?
Say this, there's a level of passion that I've never seen. There's a level of hatred that I've never seen, and that's probably a bad combination. We're doing this interview, but we'll get bigger ratings using this crazy forum that you're using than probably the debate.
Right, so the idea is it's for press. It's not actually for the function of a debate. It's just about getting your face out there. So the debate, in his mind, was never actually about debating policy of any sort or... No? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Yeah. Shit. Hold on, let me grab this guy and pop that back up there. Excellent. Yeah, it's super fucking strange. Let's go back to you guys. Hi. Oh, I gotta turn on the CAD cam there too. So it's gonna start. Oh, it started now? 5 minutes ago. He said 8:55, right? Their time? Mm-hmm. Watching Trump? I'm watching Trump. I don't watch this bullshit. Let's see, Tucker. We go to this. Then we go to here. And they're gonna... Episode... Oh, here it is. Okay. Debate night with Donald Trump. Here it is. Hold on. This is the... Oh, we're badasses. Watch out. Look out. Here comes Trump. This is, here we go. Settle in. Where everybody else is watching Republicans still trying to be Republicans, apparently. At Bedminster, they've given up on that. He's got his giant fucking wood-shaved eagle in the background. And Tucker Carlson is very uncomfortable being around this guy. I don't know. Somebody will have to ask Tucker. Did Trump grab Tucker by the pussy like before the interview started? Is he checking people like Crocodile Dundee or?
It's debate night, but we're not in Milwaukee.
We'll do a little video of his thing.
Mr. President, thanks
Well, then it isn't debate night.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Why aren't you at the Fox News? News debate tonight in Milwaukee.
Well, you know, a lot of people have been asking me that, and many
Yeah, it's an odd question coming from the guy who invited you to do an interview with him at your own golf club.
people said you shouldn't do it.
By the way, I thought Bedminster was fancier. How far are they away from his first wife's grave that looks like shit right now?
But you see the polls have come out, and I'm leading by 50 and 60 points. And
30.
And, you know, some of them are at 1 and 0 and 2. And I'm saying, do I sit there?
And 2. Everything's being weird. I see. What is it, Chip? I'm doing a show.
I like fighting number 2.
There you go. That's right.
I like fighting number 2. There for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and get harassed by people that shouldn't.
Harassed. That's what a debate is. From the guy who was like dunking on people by just making up nicknames and avoiding the issues and just saying everybody's stupid and I'll fix everything in 2 fucking weeks. Now that everybody knows he was full of shit, he can't show up again. It's like some dude showing up at the bar like, I can kick everybody's ass here, and then he gets his ass dusted in the parking lot outside, and then he never comes back to the bar.
Need me running for president? Should I be doing that? And a network that isn't particularly friendly to me, frankly. You know, they were backing Ron DeSanctimonious like crazy, and now they've given up on him. I mean, it's a lost cause.
Well, he was your choice for governor of Florida. Obviously, he was doomed from the beginning. I mean, if there's a more cursed place to be as a politician other than to have Donald Trump choose you, I don't know what it is.
It reminded me very much of 2016. You know, in 2016, I went through the same stuff and had to fight them all the way. And then they became very friendly after I won, or just about when I was winning.
Just about when I was winning. Also, for the record, no. They didn't know what a fuck up you would be. Now you've got to answer questions about your actual record instead of just going, we had the best economy ever. Somebody up there is going to go, no, you didn't.
But I just felt it would be more appropriate not to do the debate.
It's a little hard to do a debate when 1 million people died under your watch.
I don't think it's right to do it. If you're leading by 50, 60, I have one poll, I'm leading by 70 points, and I'm saying, why am I doing it? And I'm going to have 8 people, 10 people, whoever made the debate, I don't know how many it is, but I'm going to have all these people screaming at me, shouting questions at me, all of which I love answering, I love doing, but it doesn't make sense to do them. So
yeah, it doesn't. As much as I love it, it doesn't make sense. You know, it's just...
I've taken a pass. As you probably noticed.
Well, I did. I'm grateful that you did. It's interesting, though, because you spent a lot of your career in television.
Yeah.
It's interesting that there's a table between the two of you. Obviously, Tucker is worried about something. It's also interesting that Trump is doing the Illuminati hand gesture around his mangina. And it's interesting that there's no fire burning there's all that wood and yet no fire. I think that it's a great analogy.
You had a top show in television on NBC. But you don't feel the need now running for president to do television, obviously. Do you think television is declining?
Well, according to a poll that I guess we just saw, it just came out where it's down like 30, 35%, but I think they...
Yeah, TV is down 30, 35% because people are streaming TV. By the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. I'm Hal Sparks, and I've got a streaming show. All right.
We're talking, referring to cable. I think cable's down because it's lost credibility. MSNBC...
its ratings are up. It was literally tied with Fox. 1.8 million viewers a night, I think, is the thing.
Or, as they say, MSDNC is so bad. It's so wrong.
Yeah, they don't. You do. Some Republicans do, but you're a silly person.
Wrong what they write and what they do and what they say. It's, you know, it's fake news, as I said. I think I came up with that term. I hope I
You did not.
did, because it's a good one.
No, you didn't. What do you mean you hope you did?
It's not tough enough anymore. It's corrupt news. You know, really.
Right. Well, you were stupid to even think that would work. I mean, what kind of an asshole even thinks fake news will even float, you know? Were we ever so young?
What you do is call corrupt news, but somehow that doesn't play as nicely. But it is corrupt news. So you have...
Fake news is, I mean, he didn't come up with it, but it's a much better. Corrupt news? That's what you're going to use? That's what you're going with? Because that's actually what he came up with. He was saying, like, it's not enough to call it fake news anymore. We got to up everything. Everything, you just got to add something to it, even if it's fake. So we'll call it corrupt news just for the fuck of it.
MSNBC, and you have CNN, who's absolutely doing no ratings at all. I mean, they're dead, but they're doing none because they don't have credibility. They really.
Well, CNN was doing just fine, and then they switched over to the right, and they lost a bunch of their
They don't have
viewers.
credibility. Fox is way down, as you know, and
No.
the good old days are long ago. I will say this.
Well, I mean, that's a factor of your life as well. I mean,
The past wasn't that long ago.
I know.
It could come back, but they just don't have a lot of credibility, Tucker.
Nah.
You know that perhaps better than anybody.
You know that perhaps better than anyone. That's his favorite kiss-up phrase. He like, I have to say, it's aggravating. I gotta bring this in here. Chip, seriously, dude. Seriously. I love you. Come on now. You okay? Oh my God. He's reaching under the door again. What is it? I'm doing a show. It just burst in. It burst in like Kramer. What are you doing? What are you doing? I have to deal with this awful man, and you're trying to be all scrumptious and silly and want to hang out and get your belly rubbed. You want to just hang out? You can't sit here while I do this, and I already gave you a snack, so you can't fool me. You're like, every time I get him to leave this building, this room, he brings me a snack. So if he goes back in the room, I can get him to come back out and give me a snack. Mwah. Hush! Shut up now. Voices carry. All right, come on. Seriously, dude. You're gonna be fine. No, I already got you a snack. You're such a fat body sometimes. It drives you crazy. Okay.
Anybody. I think it was a terrible move getting rid of you. You were #1 on television, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, he did cost them like $1 billion.
we're doing this interview, but we'll get bigger ratings using this crazy forum that you're using than
Yeah, except it's not really ratings.
probably.
No, because the networks do this now too. They air it in front of the regular audience, where people watch actual shit, and then they go watch it, clips of it and shit afterwards.
Probably the debate or competition.
When you say there are people on stage who shouldn't be running for president, who do you mean?
Well, I don't want to really use names, but it wouldn't matter too much.
Well, that's why? Because you're chicken shit, or because you're just like emotionally weak or mentally weak, or why? I mean, Mr. Little Marco, Mr. You're making Chris Christie fat jokes all the time when you basically have the same BMI as him.
A guy like I call him Ada Hutchinson.
Why? You call him Ada Hutchinson because you mispronounced his fucking name once, and you have to act like you did it on purpose.
It's Asa, but I call him Ada.
Yes, we know. We just don't know why. No one knows why. What is the fucking point of this whole? It makes no sense whatsoever. Does anybody know why Ada? Does that?
Why do you call him Ada?
I could tell you, but I don't want to get myself in a little trouble.
What? No, he can't tell you. He doesn't fucking know. I'm dead serious. What does he think? It's like Aida, or I mean, at this point, I'm surprised he doesn't just say Asia, because China tried to attack us with a thing.
But he's weak and pathetic, and he was.
So he needs people to come to his aid, I suppose. Is that our reasoning? Honest to fucking God, man. Spit it out. Is it Ada? Because the dude needs fucking help. He's like, aidez-moi, as they say en français. You could do that, or you could you could say Aida, because he's such a fucking prima donna or something like that, even though he ain't. It's not like any of your other monikers make fucking sense with any of these people. You've been phoning this shit in ever since. God damn. Make up your goddamn mind, you swine. I don't know hey, why do I have to figure out ways to make your bullshit make sense? It's confusing, and it makes me, Gives me a weird pain in my left. It's in my hamstring. Very strange.
I never understood the guy. Never knew him.
So I couldn't make up one that makes sense. So I just decided
He was the governor of Arkansas. Not a very popular guy. I don't know how but that state is such a great state. The people are so incredible in that state, and they love me and I love them. How does this guy get elected governor of Arkansas? But he's,
I don't know. Why don't you run for governor and lose, and everybody can laugh?
Nasty always, and has been. A guy like
I would warn you against using the phrase "has been."
Chris Christie, the guy left with a 8%, think of it, 8% approval rating in New Jersey. Now he's running for president.
Yeah, but in his defense, 600,000 Americans didn't die while he was in office.
And he runs solely on the basis, oh, let's get Trump. He's like a savage maniac. He's like a lunatic.
A savage maniac lunatic. Yeah, he's like that. He's like savage maniac lunatic adjacent. And
that's all he talks about. His poll numbers are very, very low. He's about 2%.
They've grown, though. Have you noticed that? He had 0, and now he's like 3% or 5%. He's inching up. Something's happening.
What's he like? Like, you know him well.
Yeah, you knew him well. And so it's interesting. So you knew he liked you and you liked him, and then you spent time together, and then he suddenly hates you. What's that about?
I've been friendly with him over the years, but I couldn't give him a job because I just never trusted him very much. I was just never one of his people that really.
Unlike Rex Tillerson and Jeff Sessions and like all the people, those people you could trust. Bill Barr, you trusted him, right? You gave him a job. You trusted him. Obviously, you trusted him, or you wouldn't have given him the job.
Trusted him. I never gave him the job, and that's one of the reasons he feels so hurt and so betrayed.
Really? Is that the real reason, or is it because you led an attack on the Capitol?
And I understand that. I really do. I understand it, but I never gave him. You know, he wanted to be different things. He was looking at different elements of the administration, and we decided.
Elements? Really? He wanted to be the chromium of the. What, he wanted to be cobalt? What element did he want to be? You mean different cabinet positions, or name those? Just you were president for 4 years. Rattle off the cabinet, the secretaries of different departments. Just go for it. Secretary of Interior, that kind of shit. What did he want to be? Tell us, if you remember, which you don't.
And, I decided I didn't want to.
Nah, fuck it. I don't even know what these jobs are.
And now I'm glad I did, because you see. But you know, we had some.
Yeah, well, if you, I mean, obviously you're too busy giving Bill Barr a job, and that's, you know, luckily that worked out.
Some great people. I had great people. We'll have even better people if we do this, because now I know Washington. Before I didn't know Washington, but guys like Bill Barr were terrible. I mean, they were.
Yeah, that guy you picked to be your personal, whatever, Cohen, whatever his name was.
I would say Bushies. I say that with respect to the Bush family, but they were Bushies, and just it doesn't work.
They were Bushies.
Work out for us.
It was clear. This is kind of far afield, but it was just interesting. I read Barr's account of his time. He wrote a book about it,
right?
His autobiography, and in it he lies about Jeffrey Epstein's death. Clearly lies.
Oh, terrible! He does. How so? This is not. Look at his face. This is a man who was a participant, perhaps, in this lie, and is a bit concerned which direction this one's going to go.
Do you think Epstein killed himself sincerely?
I don't know. I will say that, you know, he was a fixture in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
He was a fixture. Yeah. Amongst the child sex trafficking crowd, a fixture, was he? Yeah. Ada Hutchinson's awful, but you know, I don't know how Arkansas did, but oh yeah, Epstein, he was a fixture. Yeah, he was like a lamppost. He was always there, ready to be turned on.
I don't know what Barr said about it either. I have no idea what he said. What did he say? He killed himself, probably?
He said he killed himself, and that they were going to do this investigation. They never did the investigation. It's never been public, well, and they hid it, and like, why are they doing that?
Yeah, why are they doing that? I mean, he died during your administration, and obviously Bill Barr is the liar I'm talking about, and he wrote about his time when they were going to do this thing, and he said that about his time when you guys were working together. So he was working with you when this happened?
Clearly Barr knew, But why would Bill Barr be covering up the death of Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, that's so fucking weird. You know, I have to wonder, I think, in many ways, why anybody in that administration would care either way about, I don't know, Epstein at all. You know what I mean? Like, why was that even on the fucking radar? You know what I mean? Like, I'm racking my brain and I can't figure out why that was even a talking point during that time. If somebody knows, was that on the screen? Did you guys see something? Ah, it's just me.
Bill Barr didn't do an investigation on the election fraud either, okay? He said he did.
Yeah. Well, in his defense, we didn't have any election poll workers, fucking kids. So.
And he pretended he did, but he didn't. McSwain, the U.S. attorney in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Way to dodge, by the way. Way to move off the fucking Epstein question. Like, zip. Just fine. Anyways, let's talk about
said Barr just wouldn't let him do it. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but yeah, understood. Yeah, election fraud, blah, 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 blah. Back to the thing about, did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself while you were president?
Barr became so petrified, so frightened
of being impeached. Right. But that, apparently he was not worried about being impeached over not investigating the death of Jeffrey Epstein.
Of being impeached. We're going to impeach him. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah.
It's not a big moment in history.
No. Not as big, certainly, as the hanging of Jeffrey Epstein.
But they said, we're going to impeach. They play a much rougher game, the left.
Yeah, but in their defense, they didn't cover up the fake suicide of Jeffrey Epstein, I think is the point he's trying to make.
Lunatics. And they were going to...
Savage lunatics. Thank you very much. I mean, come on. I'm a fucking beast.
Impeach Bill Barr, and he was petrified.
Oh, so scared. He was so scared of being impeached for not looking into the election that he retroactively forgot to look into Jeffrey Epstein and whether or not he was murdered.
Now, how do you not get impeached? Don't do any of this stuff. But
yeah. I mean, obviously, one of the ways you're going to get impeached clearly is if you don't investigate the death of anyways.
He didn't do the job there. I don't know what he did with Epstein, but possibly he didn't.
Do you think it's possible that Epstein was killed?
Oh, sure, it's possible. I mean, I don't really believe. I think he probably committed suicide. He had a life with, beautiful homes and beautiful everything, and he...
Yeah, beautiful everything. And by everything, he means underage girls.
All of a sudden, he's incarcerated, and...
Yeah, it's all of a sudden he's incarcerated. It must have been baffling, just a whirlwind. All of a sudden.
Not doing very well.
Yeah, not doing very well. Yeah, I mean, in jail, the food's not good. There's a serious lack of teenage girls.
I would say that he did, but there are those people, there are many people, I think you're one of them, right? But a lot of people think that he was killed. He knew a lot on a lot of people.
He was killed.
You think so?
I think the closer you look, I'm not a conspiracy person at all.
At all.
I believe.
Which is exactly what a conspiracy theorist would say.
Everything I hear. But yeah, the closer you look in.
I love how he was trying to be funny at the end of this and Trump just nodded. I believe everything I hear. And Trump just went,
into it. I mean, the Attorney General of the United States, your Attorney General clearly lied about the Epstein death.
Yeah,
and why?
Why? You knew him. And I don't mean Barr. I mean, you knew Barr and Epstein. Why?
Certainly, it wasn't well done. They had no cameras. They had no anything. Everybody was sleeping. And, a case could be made. Look, I'm not going to get involved in it. But I can tell you, a case could be made either way. But
either way, it wasn't well done. What is you were gonna cook him?
It certainly wasn't the most well-run place.
So
it certainly wasn't the most well-run place. So they should have sent him to a better jail. Is that where
the reason I'm asking you is
is you were president when he died, and you used to You know what? This is my fault. Hold on. Let's go down to here. Grab this thing. Put this over here. There's got to be a way to. Let's see. I'll shrink this down to here. And let's go. Yeah. Just put it right here. And sorry. Go ahead. You're saying
The trajectory since 2015 when you got into politics, you know, for real, and then won. It started with protests against you, massive protests, organized protests.
Oh, that's not fair. It's right in his face. I mean, you can't even see his face with the picture in the way. That's so. I had to fix that. No, that's not. Oh, I pushed the wrong button and it goes the wrong way. Why is that? I wish I had a. Does anybody know how to? There's a way to make this. Oh, that's so messing it up. I don't know why. Oh, it's terrible. Okay. I'll just turn it off for the time being. I just think it's too much. Anyways,
Just by the left, and then it moved to impeachment twice.
Right.
Well, it didn't move to that. He actually committed 2 impeachable offenses in a row. One was trying to manipulate a foreign government to try and win the election, and then when he lost the election, trying to foment an insurrection against the government. You know, that he was supposedly had sworn an oath to protect and defend.
And now indictment. I mean, the next stage is violence. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you?
Well, I mean, I think you'd want him to be in jail and miserable. I think. I mean, I don't know. Look. It's clear that Tucker Carlson thinks that that's the natural order of things, and has no idea, no matter how much his mistress tries to explain it to him, there's a certain amount of pleasure in torture. No, in someone just getting their justice, and justice would be sitting in jail and being miserable.
Honestly,
I don't want this fucker to die. I really don't. I want him to, if he's found guilty in a court of law, experience 1/10 of the punishment that he probably deserves.
They're savage animals.
Savage animals. Yep. Very sexy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You know, I've been doing sit-ups.
They are people that are sick, really sick.
Oh, well then, obviously it's not their fault then. If they're sick, then, you know, they're to be pitied and not hated. I see.
You have great people in the Democrat Party. You have
Thanks for it. It's Democratic Party, fucko, but I appreciate you saying
great people that are Democrats. Most of the people in our country are fantastic, and I'm representing everybody. I'm not just Republicans or conservatives. I represent everybody. I'm the president of everybody.
No, you're not. You're not the president of anyone right now. You're actually just a private citizen. That's how our country works. Stupid.
But I've seen what they do. I've seen the lengths that they go to when they make up the Russia. When that's exposed and they go down, and Barr should have gone after them, and other people should have gone after. And they did very late, because the Durham report came out. It was fairly good.
Fairly good.
It could have been a lot tougher, I guess.
Yeah, it could have actually. Well, it couldn't have, because the facts didn't back it up. That was the problem.
But it was fairly good. But it explained how corrupt it was. I'll tell you who did a great job was the Inspector General Horowitz. He did a phenomenal report. You didn't have to go to Durham. He did it on Comey and on, I guess, McCabe and some others. And it was a vicious, it was basically a true report, how bad they are.
It was vicious and horrible, but in a good way, horrible.
But these people are sick people. These are people that...
Are they sick? I think the word you're looking for is sick. They're savage sick. They're savagely sick.
I think they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
Well, I mean, maybe they do, but they're sick. So, I mean, you mean mentally, right? You're not talking about like 4th stage syphilis. I don't know why that comes to mind.
When you see open borders, when you see these policies that they have,
which aren't actually open borders,
and so many other things, it's so...
Yeah, so many other things. And you see so many other things. You see these things, and there's like that, there's like all this stuff. You know what I mean? And you see that, and you're like, ugh.
Sad to see.
It is
We have
sad.
a country that's very fragile right now. I've never...
Oh, yes, that's we're very delicate right now. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Shh. Just let me sit here.
I will say, look.
Yeah. He doesn't know where you are. We don't know where you are. Tucker's confused, and he's covering his crotch.
I ran in 16, which was 15, but I ran in 16 election.
This is say that again. Stupid. What was it? What was that again? Sorry. You what? I gotta back this up a little bit.
He did it on Comey and on, I guess, McCabe and some others, and it was a vicious, hard. It was basically a true report how bad they are.
Basically.
But these people are sick people. These are people that I think they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
I kind of do, but I don't think I'm getting it. But
when you see open borders, when you see these policies that they have, and so many other things, it's so sad to see. Yes. You know, we have a country that's very fragile right now. I've never seen. I will say, look, I ran in 16, which was 15, but I ran in 16, election in 16, and
this sounds like Jeffrey Epstein trying to tell a judge how old someone was.
There was tremendous spirit.
Oh, spirit. That's why you lost by 3 million votes in the popular vote. It was all that spirit. What? Spirit. Yes, he did, sir. No, spirit, bravado, a touch of daring do. About 11:30, sir. What?
In 20, there was even more spirit. We got many millions of.
Well, there was a lot of spirit. Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot more dead people. So do you mean like ghosts? Or?
Millions and millions more votes. You know, it wasn't even a contest. People said, well, what do you think of 20? I said, we did much better. We did. You got to base it on the number of.
Because of mail-in votes. Because you broadened the availability of votes. The very thing you are decrying added votes to your rolls. It just didn't add enough.
Votes. We got many more votes in 20 than we did in 16. But the election was rigged. It was a rigged election. And with COVID, they used COVID to cheat in a lot of different things, and we have so much on it. It's like so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy. And yet, it's, what's the word? Hard, apparently. Apparently, it's just not amounting to a hill of beans. I guess, hold on one second. I've got to put this back here. I'm fixing one thing real quick. I just want this, so we can have some consistency here. Anyways, you were saying. Yeah, go ahead.
But we had judges that didn't want to look. We had people didn't.
Yeah, they didn't want to look.
Want to get involved. They called you. He's a conspiracy theorist if you say anything about the election.
No, you could say a lot of things about the election, but if you said that there was fucking bamboo fibers and panda jizz in the ballots, and that the votes had bounced off a fucking satellite, gone to Spain, and were recounted, and then in China they printed ballots based on those numbers and shipped them over to black people, interestingly enough. It's always black people, isn't it? In these big major urban areas, and they slipped them in, which, they were just the tipping a bunch of votes.
But I have never.
I would say that's quite conspiracy theorist. I would qualify.
Never seen spirit like there is right now.
Yes, never. That's why you're alone at Bedminster.
Even coming down here, just the people on the road that are just absolutely going crazy.
Oh, they're nuts. I mean, honestly, my followers are fucking lunatics.
And the reason is, I think they like me, and I know they love my policies. I hope they like me too. A lot of people say they don't like me, but they like my policies. I think they like.
No, a lot of them are the other way around. They have no idea what your fucking policies are.
Me. But I have never seen spirit like.
Spirit. That's what it is. It's basically he's the cheerleader in chief. That's what this is. That's the great thing about this. Is we're team spirit, okay?
It is right now. And the reason is because crooked Joe Biden is so bad. He's the worst president in the history of our country.
And yet still below 4% unemployment for the longest stretch in 50 years, and inflation's coming down. Obviously that's cuz he's living off the fumes of what you did. Even though there was a recession, according to you, between now and when you were president, which would have been during the fumes period, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what kind of fumes you were talking about, but
I don't think he's going to make it to the gate, but you never know. But he's a corrupt person, so corrupt that I took the name off Hillary. I don't do two people at one time. I took the crooked Hillary and I retired the name. That was a good day for her. I bet she was very happy. And I used it for Joe because it's crooked.
That's a very uncomfortable laugh. That's what Tucker's trying to do, his goofy laugh, because the fans like it.
Joe. But Joe is really...
But you don't think he's going to make it to November of 24?
Well, I think he's worse mentally than he is physically. And physically, he's not exactly a triathlete or any kind of an athlete. You look at him, he can't walk to the helicopter. He walks, he can't lift his feet out of the grass. You know, it's only 2 inches at the White House, right? That's not a lot. But you watch him, and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks. So, and then you see him on the beach where he can't lift a chair. You know, those chairs are meant to be light, right? They're like 2 ounces.
Yeah.
You lift them up. He can't lift the chair. He can't walk to the chair. And I don't know what they're doing with the beach. You know, this beach is seeming to play a big role, but...
No, it isn't. He went to the beach once. This is not a recurring theme. They decided to go for a long weekend. Wait till Labor Day gets here.
They love pictures of him on the beach. I think...
No, right-wingers put a lot of them up. They didn't put out pictures of him on the beach.
He looks terrible on the beach.
Where do you not look terrible?
He looks terrible on the beach.
Skinny legs.
Well, he can't...
Skinny legs. That's the dead giveaway. Skinny legs. That's the worst. Thank God Trump has the opposite of skinny legs. What?
Walk through the sand. You know, sand is not that easy to walk through. But when he walks through it, he can't walk through the sand.
He did, you realize. And you just said it's not easy to walk. So we're not going to see you walk. You don't walk through sand? Is that what the fuck?
And there's somebody in there that thinks he looks fabulous at the beach. I think he looks horrible at the beach. Plus, the beach doesn't represent what a president's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's right. The president's not supposed to be at the beach. He's supposed to be on a golf course. The only sand a president should experience should be a sand trap that he never slices into.
Supposed to be working.
He's supposed to be working. Motherfucker made 400 years of presidential salary was spent at his properties following him the fuck around while he golfed. 400 years. But I donated my salary.
Supposed to be getting us out of that horrible, horrible war that we're very much involved in with Russia. And you...
No, we're not.
Ukraine, you could do that. You could do that very easily. I believe you could do that I don't believe he could do it because he's just incompetent.
Sure. But because he wouldn't know what to say, which is, Russia, you get to have that part. Ukraine, shut the fuck up or I'll bomb you myself. That part?
But that's a war that should end immediately, not because...
I agree. Russia can fuck off.
Because of one side or the other.
No, not because of the side that invaded, let's just say.
Because hundreds of thousands of people are being killed.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people are being killed. Most of them Russians, I might add, but...
Can you imagine you're in an apartment house and rockets are going into that building and...
Yes.
Blowing it up and knocking it down and...
Blowing it up and knocking it down. I wouldn't even know which stairs to take.
Who can... Why should anybody, human beings, these are human, whether they're Russian or Ukrainian or whatever they are...
Yeah, whatever they are. They're Ukrainian.
It's got to be stopped, and it can be stopped very easily. It would have never started. If I were president, it would have never started.
So, back to Biden, I'm interested. So you think he's failing? He obviously is failing. I think it's...
Obviously. I mean, if you're a second-generation rich kid, which both of them are, I mean, this is a great meeting of two people who were born, on third base, thought they hit a triple, silver spoon in their mouth, never had to work a day in their life, and got a hi. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Thank you, my love.
You might need it.
I will.
Yes.
This is getting fucking tiresome. And this little guy.
Well, he says you're late. You're
Yes, I already gave him a snack though.
This is not normal timing.
I did a be right back screen and everything, like a total streaming professional. And still,
it's clear to everybody.
Hold on.
But that would make...
But yeah. He's got his arm under the, all the way under the door. No. And then as soon as you turn, he races towards the stairs and he's like, I'm gonna. Hold on one second. Yeah, hold on. Cat cam. Time for the cat cam again. Come here. Where are you? There he is. Chip, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Psst, psst. Come here. Come here. Come here, you. Come on. He's like, this is a trap. This is a snack trap. See my little...
Where is it?
It's right here.
There.
Yeah. There he is. There he is. Look at this. Look at this big boy. Look at this. Oh, God, there he is. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to do a show. Here, she'll get you a snack. He's like, whoa. She knows where the snacks are. I'm going, okay, love you. Thanks. She brought me a coffee because this is going to be fucking craziness. Let's see. All right. Why is that? Oh, let's get rid of that. There you go. So back to where we were. This is so much more palatable in the fucking debate. We'll do that tomorrow.
Kamala Harris, the candidate?
Well, not really. I mean, I guess they'd have maybe a free-for-all. A lot of people say she has to remain for certain reasons, the candidate. She has to.
This is the yeah. If Biden doesn't make it, it'll be Kamala Harris, and then he's like, it'll be a free-for-all. Is that what he's hoping for? It seems to be like he's like, it'd be great. What if Biden has a fucking, if he falls down a flight of stairs or has a heart attack or something? Oh, that'd be the only thing that could save my ass.
I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think that other people would stand for it. She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like what kind of bad are we talking about? Are we talking like
free healthcare for illegal.
how are we talking
They're
like
going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
like that kind of bad, or
Who wants people coming in from foreign countries?
you know what I mean? Like or maybe this bad?
Action replays in magnified fashion.
Or what if you just went up on stage somewhere during a rally and said this?
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Yeah. It has Kamala said shit that bad?
But
She seems pretty senile, too.
she
She seems pretty senile too. All
speaks
right.
in rhyme.
She speaks in rhyme. You think he's gonna venture into a rap, black, that kind of shit? Think that's where his fucking brain went? She speaks in rhyme.
You know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Is it weird? Is it? I mean, I think if she just says words and pronounces them correctly, it'd be enough.
Christopher Columbus, Christopher, huh? When they gaze upon Yosemite.
Yeah.
It's weird, but
No. What? No. What are you talking about? Quote her or shut the fuck up. She walks in stereo.
she has bad moments, and
In rhyme? What do you...
well, the way
Yeah. Even Tucker's amazed. What?
she talks, the bus will go here, and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And
Oh shit! Thank you, Eric. Holy shit! That's pretty fucking terrible. Thank you, Justin. Sorry, that rhymes. Does it? Is that it rhymes? Does it? That rhymed. That rhymed in what? You do realize using the same word twice isn't rhyming. It's just repeating a phrase. But I don't even know why I'm trying to make sense of this. I'm losing my fucking mind here.
it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a
Yeah, Tucker is laughing at him right now and not with him.
president of the United States future.
This is not president of the United States future. Oh my God. Here comes the best words.
I don't read, obviously.
Yep.
They don't like the gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Action replays in magnified fashion.
Yeah. You know, he's a smart guy.
I was a private business people.
Yeah, you were. All of them. It's fun. Yeah.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75
Here's
years.
the Ass Force.
Space Force. Not since the Ass Force.
Not since the Ass Force.
And I think they probably have some kind of a primary, and other people will get involved.
Way to wrap it up, dude. I got to get the fuck out of this. I need 2 sentences to just bail me the fuck out.
Newsom, right? I mean,
Could be. I mean, you know.
I mean, there's other people, but probably, sort of, whatever. You know, he was tough on Sean Hannity.
I always got along well with him, believe it or not. But could be him, could be somebody else.
Well, way to really nail it. This is leadership. This is how it's done.
He's got a big load on his shoulders because
He's got a what? Huh? Quit it. Quit. Why is this the one day where I don't have the backup button on this fucking thing? Backup. I need another run of this Kamala shit again.
She seems pretty senile too.
She speaks in rhyme. It's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
she has bad moments. Let's hear one of the rhymes. Whip it out. Let's go, Hi, my name is. Hi, my name is. Hi, my name is. Waka waka.
Rhyme? What do you?
Well, the way she talks, the bus will go here and then the bus will go there because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future.
This is not a. This is not a president of the United States future. Boy, the best words are coming hot and heavy tonight.
And I think they probably have some kind of a primary and other people will get involved.
Newsom, right? I
Could be. I mean, I always got along well with him, believe it or not. But could be him, could be somebody else. He's got a big load on his shoulders because
Sorry. He had I mean, I think Kimberly Guilfoyle did at one point. Sorry.
You look at California, what's happened.
A big load on his shoulders when you look at California and what's happened. You mean the fastest recovery of any state in the country and going from the 7th largest economy in the world to the 6th?
I don't know if the American people really, the people that vote for him, I don't even know if they care. You look at so many of the things that are...
that you can shove up your nose and you're like, I don't even care. Just fucking chop it up and I'll snort it.
Going on. And people don't seem to be... In the old days, if you had a bad record, it meant a lot. Today, if you have...
Right. Lucky for you. Yes, we know. That's why you think you can skip the debate, fucko.
A bad record, it doesn't really mean anything. He looks good. He's a nice-looking guy, speaks well. But Biden, every time you watch him talking, it's like he's walking on eggs. You wait.
Okay, also, you can't make the case that you can't run on, if you have a bad record, everybody ignores it because you look good on TV and you speak well, and Biden doesn't, though. So how bad do you have to be that he kicked your ass?
Waiting for him to collapse. And he almost always does.
Except for that whole part where he's actually passing bills you couldn't get through.
And I got to know the leaders of all of the countries, essentially, but
yeah, all of them.
Big ones.
Yeah, the big ones. I mean, what's his name? And the lady with the thing who was on, she had that thing.
And the bigger, the tougher the leader. It's like sort of, I guess maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, but
Yeah, it's the way it's supposed to be. If you have a big country, you want to be an absolute dictator. Murder, rape, slavery, that's just part and parcel. If you got a mid-sized country like ours, usually like half fascist will work.
Know President Xi of China.
Oh boy, you guys know I'm fucking triggered already.
Putin and Kim Jong-un, North Korea, did a great job with North Korea, kept us out of a nuclear war. We would have 40,000 dead soldiers.
By the way, according to Roger Stone, North Korea was behind a lot of the voter fraud that supposedly happened in 2020 and was trying to... I thought this motherfucker had a good relationship.
Soldiers right now, they drop a nuke right on top of the military base, but we have 40,000 soldiers over there. And I did great. I got along with them great. That's a positive.
Did he just brag about using our soldiers as human shields in South Korea?
He said nice things about Kim Jong-un. I also said horrible things at the beginning. Horrible enough that he wanted to talk. And we talked and we met in Singapore. We met actually twice. And we had unbelievable...
I just remembered that we met twice.
Meetings. I know him very well. We were in great shape with him.
What do you think he and Xi and Putin think of Biden?
I think they can't believe it. I think they probably say this is some kind of a system. They had great respect for...
Yeah, that's what they said. I think they all think this is some kind of a system. What the fuck?
For our country, they respected me. They had great respect for our country.
Yeah, except for that whole, according to you, China attacked us with a bioweapon.
I was there. Every one of them. Look, if you go to North Korea,
Yeah, I'm not planning on it, but if I do, what?
You take a look at what happened. You know, the
Yeah, yeah, definitely. If I ever do go to North Korea, I will take a look at what happened.
Olympics was dead. South Korea spent billions on the Olympics. Nobody was going to go. They didn't want to get blown up. They called me and they said,
Yeah, I mean yeah. I don't know that people were that worried about.
we are going to let the Olympics proceed. This is North Korea. I said, you should go into the Olympics. Put your athletes in. It wasn't like, you know, they were big on athletes because, you know.
Yeah, they're hungry. Yeah, they're starving to death. So it's hard to, feed athletes when everybody,
Famine.
But they went in.
Right.
And they actually participated. And within about 2 days, the entire thing was sold out.
Yeah, tickets were through the roof.
And if it
because everybody wanted to see the North Korean athletes.
wasn't me, that would have never happened. But
Dennis Rodman. If it wasn't for Dennis Rodman.
I got along very well with him, and that's a positive thing. He does have massive nuclear power, by the way. And if Hillary would have gotten in, or if the Obama thought process
Well, Biden's in, and we haven't had a war with them yet, so.
continued, it would have been a nuclear war, absolutely, with North Korea.
So they just gave up on it. You were enough to play it. All he needed was 4 years of Trump, and he's not even gonna.
He was expecting to go into a war, and it would have been a nuclear war.
Because they would have lost a conventional war instantly.
So do you think the rest of the world looks on at Biden and thinks someone else has got to be running the government?
Well, somebody else has to be.
Who would that be? Barack Obama? Then if Kim Jong-un was going to attack during the Obama years and Obama's the puppet master of this, why isn't he attacking now? I'm thinking this through too much.
I don't think he's capable of doing anything. Look, when I debated him, I said, how come, and
this guy is kicking my ass.
was in front of, probably not a friend of yours, Chris Wallace. He was the moderator.
Not a friend.
I said, why?
Yes, but that, in all fairness, Tucker Carlson doesn't have any friends.
Why is it? He wants to be Mike, but he doesn't have the talent. It's one of those
bitchy little man.
He wanted to be his father, but he didn't have the talent.
Well, the old phrase, takes one to know one.
His father was great. His
He's
father,
a little fussy man.
His father interviewed me in 60 Minutes. It was actually a 10. Can you believe it?
No, I totally. His father had talent, at least.
I may have been the only guy that he gave a good 60 Minutes to. He was rough.
Really?
His father was tough. He was great, though. He was great at what he did. But Chris Wallace was so upset. He was guarding this guy who wouldn't do a show, by the way. You know, he wouldn't do. I figured I didn't mind Chris Wallace because Biden wouldn't do a show, and it was very obvious. You know, he kept asking him and asking, but he wouldn't do the show. So I figured he's got to like me. But he came from a different planet. But remember when I asked the question, why
Planet Wallace is, I guess.
is it that the mayor of Moscow's wife is allowed to give you $3.5 million?
Yeah, she didn't actually. Fucking hell. We're gonna go this easy. All of the money from the mayor of Moscow's wife went to Devon Archer for a fund in a related company to Rosemont Seneca that Hunter Biden was not a part of. Period. Like, if you're going to pick something, go with the CEFC deal and go, well, that should have gone. If it went, you would have made money and blah, 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 and all that kind of shit. You can muck around in that. This is the one that's the most cut and dry. All of that money went to Devon Archer.
Don't forget, that was brought up. Now it's brought up all the time, but that was brought up by me long before anyone else.
Yes, and it's been asked and answered. It literally, all of that money went to Devon Archer. To invest, by the way. He didn't get to keep it.
Never heard of it. I said, the mayor of Moscow's wife giving you $3.5 million. What did you do to deserve $3.5 million?
And he went, what the fuck are you talking about? My name is not Devon Archer.
To Biden. And Chris Wallace said, this doesn't, this
make any sense?
Has nothing to do with the debate. I mean, he fought.
He got in the way of the question.
No.
No. It had nothing to do with Joe Biden or even Hunter Biden.
Well, it was crazy. And I said, well. Yes,
it was. It was crazy that you would bring it up. Again, all of that money went to Devon Archer. End of story. He said so in his under oath deposition.
Wait a minute. He got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife.
No, he didn't.
Now, people forget that, but if you go back and take a look.
I'll gladly go and take a look. As a matter of fact, shall we? Hold on. Let's go. As a matter of fact, where do I have it? I have it around here. It's super good. I'm enjoying this. Give me 1 second. It's in here. Yeah, let's go in there. Give me 1 second. Oh no, it's on my cam. That's right. Sorry, I thought it was in my other thing, but it's in my thing. Go over here. Open this thing up. Go to my projects because I made a project of this thing, and we'll go to the home screen, and then we go to the projects, and then we go to the Russia thing that I did with the thing. There it is, the Hunter Biden edition of the Russia thing. And then we just open this thing up because it's one of my favorite little things that I've done recently, and I'm very proud of it, and it's a lot of fun, if I may. And let's go enter full screen. Nothing but, whoops, no, I don't want full screen. I want it to stop. I don't want full screen. I want it to be in regular thingy thing. I want to X out the full screen part. And then I want to drag this down here in front of this. And then I will drag this screen to make it a little larger. Get up here, you silly thing. Come on. There we go. All right, here we go. Now we do it. All right. Let's just jump right into this. Here you go. Rosemont Realty LLC. Founded in 1991, Hunter Biden was not on the Rosemont Realty management team, but was listed as part of the board of advisors of the firm, which was managed by Devin Archer. This was a substantial company. In 2013, its website showed it owned properties in 25 states, including Comer's home state of Kentucky. Archer was recently interviewed by the Oversight Committee, and he tried to explain that a wire transfer of $3.5 million from Elena Baturina, a Russian billionaire, the mayor of Moscow's wife, that interested the committee was part of a $120 million investment with Rosemont Realty that was unrelated to Hunter Biden. Rosemont Realty was completely out of his kind of portfolio. That was not his money. That was not his deal. They lied about it, and they kept lying about it. $3.5 million from the Russian billionaire, none to Biden. None to Biden. Also, of the $6.5 million from Burisma, 3.9 went to Devin Archer, and 2.6 went to Hunter while they were both there, while Rosemont Seneca was a part of that process. Now, if Hunter was the one with the board position, why did Archer make more money from it? Also, here we go. So the staff memo suggests that $2.75 million of Baturina's transfer went to a firm that transferred funds to Hunter Biden. But our reporting and Archer's testimony suggests it is incorrect to assume Hunter ended up with this money. Under our accounting, this all would be considered money to an associate. That's how they get around this. Archer, since he says Baturina's transfer was intended for a real estate transaction unconnected to Hunter. And this is their just straight up lie. Hunter Biden received a $3.5 million wire transfer from Elena Baturina, the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. That is just flat out an obvious and provable lie. Just saying.
You will see. And Chris Wallace didn't want me to ask that question. I said,
well, I would have been fine with it because it's horseshit. Now, it helps that the question is being asked after Devin Archer gave testimony under oath to a House committee.
I think it's a very appropriate question. It turned out to be much more appropriate than people thought.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It's a great question because it proves just how full of shit Trump is. Also, you can tell by my freeze frames that are accidental, and I do not plan them ahead of time, how tired of this shit he is even. Like, he's even tired of hearing his own shit.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
So
on this piece of paper, I have Devin Archer's testimony where he says that actually that money went to a fund that he oversaw, and Hunter wasn't even a part of that team, and that money went completely to him. And also it was $1 million less than you said it was in the first place, and it never even, none of it, not a dime, went to Hunter. I'm kidding. This is something else.
Do you have a preference in, assuming you're the Republican nominee and all goes as you plan it to go, do you have a preference in who you run against?
In many ways, I'd love to run against him because his record's so bad. You know, it's still horrible when you look at inflation and everything
It's horrible.
else, but
it's not, I mean, it's not it's not ignoring a pandemic until hundreds of thousands of Americans are dying and telling people to stick a light bulb up their ass and drink bleach and saying that China's doing a very professional job, and then less than a year later saying they attacked us with a bioweapon because you're no longer in charge of it.
Others also have very bad records. I mean, California's a bad record, so, you know, should it be Gavin or should it be somebody else?
So you only want to run against people you think is a bad record because if a Democrat whose policies are going well, that would be hard.
I look at San Francisco, what's happened to that incredible city. That was one of the greatest.
It was fine when he was mayor.
Cities in the world just a short while ago, and now it's very sad when you look at it. Los Angeles.
San Francisco and Los Angeles are two different places. You do realize what you just said, right?
Every city practically.
Yeah, every city. Bakersfield, don't get me started. Bakersfield's a fucking dump. Bring that up. Tell them about Bakersfield. Worst murder rate in the fucking country. Bakersfield's a fucking death trap. Jesus Christ. And they don't even have a Chili's.
All the Democrat-run cities. You know, Republican-run cities are doing very nicely.
That's because they're tiny and there's nothing to steal.
Because they arrest people when you have crimes.
Do they now? Do we bother to look at the gun deaths? No? All right.
And they don't go after political candidates.
Yes, they do. Just not you, I suppose.
Because they think it's good, you know. I mean, it's like been amazing. My poll numbers are the highest I've ever had. But
well, then, yeah, I don't know what you're complaining about.
because people understand it.
Can I just ask you, that gets back to my original question. So if the protest didn't work, you got elected anyway. Yeah. Impeachment didn't work twice, obviously.
You lost the election. You did get voted out.
Indictment is not working.
You're still only 50% of your own party.
The poll numbers go up. When they raided Mar-a-Lago in August of last year, your numbers went
and then he went down again.
Up. They can indict you 20 times, and you're not gonna lose the Republican primary because of that.
Well, so it makes it look even more ridiculous. I mean, the 4 indictments, and maybe there'll be more. I don't know. These people are crazy.
But they're counterproductive. So if you
editor.
chart it out, it's an escalation, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so they're probably just going to kill you. They get tired of your poll numbers going up, and so they're probably just going to, I don't know, I could be an assassin. You don't know.
So what's next? After, try to put you in prison for the rest of your life, that's not working, so like...
No, it's kind of working, actually. I mean, mandatory minimum, anyone? Dude is going to show up at a jail tomorrow and get fingerprinted.
Don't they have to kill you now?
No, we don't. Not at all.
I think the people of our country...
won't let that happen. I hope they'll all throw themselves in front of me and protect me from FAFOing.
I don't get enough credit for how smart they are. And I'm not sure I would have said this 10 years ago.
Because I hated people back then.
But they get it. They really get it. When somebody gets indicted, your poll numbers go down. When somebody gets indicted, you announce, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be leaving to spend time with my family and to fight for the rest of my life on this stuff. But you're out of...
You mean the rest of your co-conspirators?
Politics. I got indicted 4 times.
Rudy's doing the same thing you're doing. He's still fucked.
All trivia, nonsense, bullshit. It's all bullshit.
You tell them. Tough. Oh, right now, a bunch of maggots just jerked off all over their laptops because he said bullshit.
Horrible when you look and you look at what they're doing. Mm-hmm. The boxes hoax. I'm covered by the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do exactly that. He's not covered, and he's got 25 times the number of boxes, and he's...
Yeah, again, there's boxes from his time as a senator. He gave them to the University of Delaware. You're allowed to do that. They're not under the Presidential Records Act. He absolutely doesn't have the right to declassify stuff just because he took it the fuck home, and especially after he's no longer fucking president. Packing shit while you're president and then leaving with it when you ain't is not the same, doesn't go, I did it while I was president. You don't know.
He's got them stored in Chinatown. He's got them stored in a flimsy garage underneath his Corvette.
Underneath his Corvette. That seems, again, there's that picture that Walt Nauta got sent of the classified documents spilled all over the floor, and then there's the one where the FBI agent spread out what he found in one particular box, put a little evidence triangle next to it, and a measuring, like a T-square, to show how big the documents and the folders that were there to scale are in the photograph, and attach them to the box that he was searching through. And Trump still can't get past that part, that he thinks people think he just threw shit all over the floor like a fucking toddler, and he's still grinding about that.
At Penn, and by the way, at Penn he gets millions of dollars. China pays this guy millions of dollars. See, I think he's the most corrupt president we've ever had. And he also has the distinction of being the most incompetent.
So, again, the most incompetent criminal in the world would be an accidental good guy.
And I believe both. I mean, he's both incompetent and corrupt.
So
yes, he's a master criminal and a bumbling fool at the same time. It's a terrible combination, and we're all in danger.
I actually believe he's compromised, because China knows so much about him. They know where the money comes from. They know where it is, who paid it. And
do you? You were president. You couldn't figure that shit out? Doesn't everybody know? Again, what good is blackmail if everybody fucking knows? What are they going to do? Threaten to show a picture of his son smoking a cigarette in a bathtub?
They probably paid it. Well, they do pay Penn, and he gets $1 million. I think he takes $999,000 because, keeps it a little bit under $1 million, like by $1.
$999,000 is not $1 less than $1 million. I'm just saying. My math's not great, but I do know that.
But he, in many ways, is a Manchurian candidate. We have a Manchurian candidate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think does he actually have the armor, though?
And he's afraid to tell Russia to get out of Cuba. He's afraid to tell.
Who? He's afraid to tell who to get out of Cuba? Look, I knew China was trying to build shit in there, and we've told them to fuck off with it. But what was that again?
A little bit under $1 million, like by $1.
Like by $1.
But he, in many ways, is a Manchurian candidate. We have a Manchurian candidate, and he's afraid to tell Russia to get out of Cuba. He's afraid to tell China to get out of Cuba.
Yeah, both of them. They're both in Cuba right now, having some sort of a holiday. They're drinking out of coconuts, and they've got little umbrellas in their drinks. It's disgusting. Sick.
He's afraid. China now.
He's afraid to get Venezuela out of Cuba. He's afraid to get Cuba out of Cuba.
Is building, think of this, China's building military installations in Cuba. The Cuban population of...
Yeah, they started it, as far as we know, during your presidency. We're finding out about it now. It's interesting, isn't it? That we found out about it during the Biden administration? And not because they're trying to hide it.
Miami is not too happy because they're never going to be able to go back. And
you shut off... Obama had opened trade and travel with Cuba, and you closed it down.
You don't even hear about it.
And by the way, after he closed it down, that's when the Chinese moved in and started building a base. Why is that not suspect? Why is that not a timeline we're paying attention to?
The worst culprit is the press, the media, because...
yes, they are the worst. I mean, sure, Russia sent in rape squads, but who's the worst is people who ask me nasty questions.
Normally, when I first heard that China's building installations in Cuba,
when did you hear that? Because it started during your presidency. When's the first time you heard it?
Installations means military installations. Okay.
Oh, okay, good. All right, sure. I didn't think they were just installing, those little quarter rides where you sit on a little ceramic horse in front of a store. I think that's technically an installation as well. You have to install one of those things.
Okay, they said just some communication. They did that on the islands with Japan. They took the island, they started this massive construction, and they told everybody, including the Japanese have to be very careful. They told everybody that this is a housing development. They're going to build a housing development. And I said, how come the runway is 20,000 feet long? Private jets need
20,000 feet. What the fuck? What are they flying the space? 20,000 feet runway? Jesus Christ. What are they launching into the air? Battleships?
4,000 feet. They don't need 20,000 feet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't need, nobody needs 20,000 feet.
Big ones need 20,000 feet.
No, they don't.
They don't even need 20.
Nobody needs 20. What the fuck are you talking about?
And I looked at the runway. I said,
that's wider than the island.
that's the largest runway ever built, both in width and length.
It might not even be a runway. It might just be a parking lot, actually. It might just be, I think that's a highway, actually. It's a 6-lane highway. I see.
For housing development, there's nobody that has a plane that big.
Right. No one has a plane that big. And look at him looking at people off camera because they're like, they've got a little wink and a nod like Trump's going to say some crazy shit.
That you would have a runway that's
Why
that's
is
for
China
testing.
allowed to conduct imperialism in our hemisphere?
Well, yeah, and it's far beyond Cuba. It's all over South America.
Yeah, in the Caribbean.
So we built a
Yeah, the Caribbean. Yeah.
thing called the Panama Canal.
Why does he talk like Chicken Lady? Why is it? Why does Tucker Carlson talk like the Chicken Lady from Kids in the Hall? Yeah. I asked a question and I answered it. Yeah.
Now, we lost 35,000 people to the mosquito, Malaysia.
He's been sticking, I don't know what the fuck. He's 35,000 people, fucking mosquito. He's got to declare war on the mosquito owes America.
Area.
Yeah.
We lost 35,000 people. We lost 35,000 people because of the
No, we did not.
mosquito. Vicious. They had to build.
The vicious, mean mosquito is targeting Americans. Specifically, it was a Chinese mosquito, I bet. It was the China mosquito. It was the mosquito. Oh, what an asshole.
Under nets. It was
what? Wait, it was what? Hold on. Fuck, man. I wish I had this version of this so I could jump back.
the Panama Canal.
Uh-huh.
We lost 35,000 people to the mosquito, malaria.
Yeah.
We lost 35,000 people. We lost 35,000 people because of the mosquito.
We did not.
Vicious. They had to build under nets. It was.
Yeah, they had to build under nets because they were like fish-sized mosquitoes. They were giant fish mosquitoes. I like mosquito is I'm pretty proud of that. It's a little stupid, but I enjoyed it.
One of the true great wonders of the world, as he said, one of the 9 wonders of the world. No, it was one of the 7. It happened a little while ago,
No, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And the Panama, all right.
It says 9 wonders of the world. You could make 9 wonders. He would have been.
Yeah, it could be. There could be 9 wonders. He was making the point that he's not saying it's the last one, but we've added 2 since then. What the fuck?
Better off if he stuck with the 9 and just said, yeah, I think it's 9. But this is.
What? Nobody ever. Does anybody know what? All right. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Hold on. All right. I have to. This is so stupid. I have to check it out. Oh, I see. Okay, so Biden called the Grand Canyon one of the 9 wonders of the world, as opposed to the 7. All right. Historic, mistakenly called the Grand Canyon one of the 9 wonders. Having an iconic species, focuses on hyperbole, suggests there's no natural treasure, none that is grander than the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon, one of the Earth's 9 wonders of the world. Literally, think of that. In fact, 6,000 foot deep. Blah blah blah. Is as determined by the non-profit group 7 Natural Wonders. And by the way, he doesn't say natural wonders, but that's all right. So they listed Grand Canyon, the Great Barrier Reef, the harbor of Rio de Janeiro, the Mount Everest, the Paracutan. Look out. Is a cinder cone volcano in Michoacan, Mexico that's always going, and the Victorian Falls. That's the 7 wonders of the world. Just to clarify, if I may. This is this 7 natural wonders. This is the private organization. Okay. The Panama Canal is not one of them. The Grand Canyon is what he's referring to. And they've got, these are the ones they include. Aurora Borealis, the Grand Canyon, the Great Barrier Reef, the Harbor of Rio de Janeiro, Mount Everest, the Paracutan, look out, and Victoria Falls. That's the recent wonder words. It's lovely. Let's see. Now I would have a question. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Let's go back to me and go. 9 wonders of the world. Okay. Sorry, my bad. In Petra, Machu Picchu, Great Wall of China, Pyramids of Giza. Okay, so there's the 10 man-made wonders of the world. Not 9, but 10. And this is from Teropia. This is the Parthenon, Easter Island, the Taj Mahal, the Colosseum, Angkor, Tihuacan, Petra, Machu Picchu, and the Great Wall of China, and the Pyramids of Giza. So by either overshot or undershot, depending on how you're thinking about it, Ori includes that in, and it's a big bowl of nobody gives a fuck. Angel Falls, I agree. 7 of 9. It's the 7 wonders of the world. Those are the natural ones. So for the record, Panama Canal is not one of the great wonders, like the 7 wonders at all.
One of the 9 wonders of the world. No, it was one of the 7. It happened a little while ago, you know. It says 9 wonders of the world. You could make 9 wonders. He would have been better off if he stuck with the 9 and just said, yeah, I think.
It would have been better off if you actually stopped where you were and realized you were talking about the natural wonders of the world. And after just telling us how many people we supposedly lost, which were largely French and Panamanian, who died from the mosquito, the vicious mosquito, in the creation of, in the man making the Panama Canal.
I think it's 9. But this is one of the true 7 wonders of the world.
No, it isn't. The 7 wonders of the world are not man-made. You fucking twit.
And you take a look at the Panama Canal. It was such an incredible engineering marvel. We sold it under Jimmy Carter. We sold it to Panama for $1. The following day, they quadrupled the amount of money the ships had to pay to get across. They didn't lose one ship, and now they've made it.
That's because the price had already been there. It was just they transferred the price of what they were getting. They were getting a quarter, and then they got all of it. See how that works?
It much bigger, and now they've widened it.
We looked into this when he said this once before, and Tucker Carlson, I think an educated person just has no idea what the fuck he's talking about, and certainly not enough to like beat back at any of this nonsense.
They've doubled it, right? They've more than doubled it. And it's one of the most profitable things. Any time it's just incredible, right?
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's an incredible thing. It's excellent.
Gave it away for $1.
Didn't give it away.
China now controls it. They actually control the Panama Canal. They run it. They control it.
No, they don't.
And we shouldn't let that happen.
Well, it's already happening. How long has it been going on? Let me guess. It started in 2017, and you just let it go?
And we can't let China be in Cuba.
So, what, nuke them? I think just nuke them? Just open fire? What do you think? Cluster bombs, or maybe point an energy weapon, give them headaches?
And they'll get out.
It's already done.
If I'm president, they'll get out. Because
Why?
had a very good relationship with President Xi, but he respected this country.
That's why he sent a bioweapon, apparently.
He respected me.
Yeah, that's why he told you, everything's fine. No. It's not a disease. It's nothing to worry about. Stick a light bulb up your ass, you'll be fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. No. We're handling it. We got it covered down here. Maybe 10, 15 cases. Not going anywhere.
And he'll get out.
Why?
And we can't let them run the Panama Canal. We built the Panama Canal. Should have never been given to Panama. We should have had it.
Yeah, fuck Panama. It's just their country we bifurcated with a giant canal. Well, the French.
But we gave it for $1. Think of it.
I'm thinking of it, and it's still
It
nonsense.
quadrupled in one day. They lifted the fees, which are, pretty big for these massive ships. Wiped out the biggest ships.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful to watch, but obviously you just want to see video from the survivors if there are any. Wait, did I get hit? I froze? Stream is dead? What happened? Aggregate done in 10 minutes. Thanks so much. Hold on. Me? Hold on. Did I get struck? What happened? Hold on, let me check. I still am streaming elsewhere. Let's see. Did I get bumped off anywhere? No? Okay. Let's see. Turn stream off and then back on. See what happens there. And then obviously on Twitter, I'll turn that back off and then back on. And then am I on? Where did I get kicked off of? I'm good. I froze for 30 seconds. Okay, good. Facebook, YouTube, froze. Okay, good. All right. Lost signal. Okay. All right. I'm just checking. I wouldn't doubt it. They go, and again, by the way, this qualifies under fair use. I am doing a shit ton of commentary about this asshole and fact checking him. So this is not me just re-airing this bullshit, uninterrupted and just borrowing ad rev. So anybody who tries to copyright strike me is violating the fact that I am commenting on the leading presidential candidate for one of the parties bullshitting his way through yet another garbage interview.
And we go through the Panama Canal. We built it. And we gave it away for $1. Think of that. How stupid are we? We have done the stupidest things in this country.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Seriously.
And now we have a president that can't put two sentences together, can't speak, can't walk.
Yeah.
I don't read, obviously.
Yeah.
Again, the words are conditions.
The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
That's what they do. They do say that.
Michigan gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
That's right.
Bullshit!
All right. Hello, bullshit. This is a constant refrain that he uses, the whole Biden can't string two sentences together, and yet he's running the country into the ground by doing nothing.
Can't talk. I don't think he gets to the starting gate, but these people do miracles. I mean, he ran out of his basement.
And kicked your ass.
And you got away with that one because of COVID, so he sort of got away with it. They cheated on the election. But you have people that are very smart, but they're fascists and they're radical left lunatics, and they're destroying our country with the all.
Yeah, smart, fascist, radical left lunatics. Your Twitch stream is down. Is it back up? Twitch went back up? I flipped it off and back on. You might have to reload the page.
Electric cars and the windmills all over the place, which, by the way, don't work, and they're all, most of them made in China. For the most part, they're made in China. Germany a little bit, but China. But
Germany a little bit. I mean, we like Germany. We don't like China. But
you look at what's happening to our country, even no voter ID. I mean, why don't they want voter ID?
we do. We just want it to be free. That's all. And I would say, hey, nationwide, every citizen gets a fucking ID card that's associated with your social security number, and it's got a number in it that you can use for the rest of your fucking life to identify you as an American. It's great and all that stuff, but you guys won't do it because it's the mark of the beast.
There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, because they want to cheat. I mean, who doesn't want, the Democrat convention, the last one, they had voter ID that was this big. It looked like a prison card, this big on their chest.
Well, I mean, what does a prison card look like? I mean, you'll find out tomorrow, but I'm just curious. Also, why don't you let guns into your rallies? Mr. Super Second Amendment, right? I mean, that's the
Under siege, Second Amendment.
Yeah, that's right.
You walked in, they had your picture, your this, your fingerprint, they had everything.
Yeah, it's a private gathering. It's not, you don't have a right to be there.
The most incredible voter ID I've ever seen.
It's not voter ID. It's a private organization, a political party with specific membership rules, and it is privately incorporated. It is not, you don't have the right to be in the Democratic Party.
That was to get into the Democrat National Convention.
Right, where delegates meet to choose the nominee. It's a private political party.
But to get in to vote, if you buy groceries, if you buy practically anything now, you have ID on a
No, you don't.
card.
No, you don't. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to stick your fucking credit card in the machine anymore. You can just tap it.
Credit cards or otherwise.
But don't you think it's racist to have to show your ID?
Well, they probably say that. They use anything not to show ID because voter ID is pretty simple. And
no, taking it away is very simple. Yeah. Stopping people from voting because they don't have their ID anymore is just a way of like effectively ending voting. And in the South, that was a strategy for a very long time. It used to be that you would use your driver's license as your main ID to vote. And what they would do is if they pulled you over for a traffic stop, they could take your ID and go, I'm writing you a ticket. I'm going to keep your driver's license. This is your summons. If you get pulled over again, you just show that you have a driver's license. I've just kept it. And I'm going to keep this. And you get it back when you show up for court. And what they would do is they would just start handing out tickets within 3 weeks of the fucking election, and nobody had their ID.
we could go back, and we should go back to all paper ballots, voter ID, same-day voting. You know, France did it. France had mail-in ballots, and it was terrible.
And it was just got the same amount of people as just California. And by the way, they counted them digitally.
Anytime you have mail-in ballots, you're going to have massive cheating.
No, you aren't. Well, I guess so. Anybody elected in Colorado or by the votes in Colorado is massive cheating. I see.
On your elections, anytime, but not just the presidential election. Anytime you have.
Isn't that the whole point of them?
Yeah.
So you can
Oh,
cheat?
yeah, sure. It's a whole.
Or just so you can vote, because you shouldn't have to go someplace to vote. You have the right to vote.
That's their whole point. They want to cheat. Yeah, they have to cheat.
In Colorado?
Because their policies are so bad that if they didn't cheat, they couldn't get elected. Who wants open borders? Who wants high taxes? Who wants high interest rates?
Who wants people coming in from foreign countries?
Who wants to not be able to use a gas stove?
You can use a gas stove. What the fuck are you talking about? We're still on that shit? You don't cook. What the fuck are you talking about?
Or have to drive an electric car, which, you know, you have a 4-hour drive, but the car only goes an hour and a half, so you have to charge it.
Yeah, it's almost, who wants to drive a gasoline car when you got, it only goes 220 miles on a tank of gas and you got a 300-mile trip? I mean, what's the fucking point? You got to fill it up.
The happiest moment for somebody in an electric car is the first 10 minutes. In other words, you get it charged, and now for 10 minutes. The unhappiest part is the next hour because you're petrified that you're not going to be found another charger. People, I'm saying if...
All right. First of all, range anxiety is so 2012. But secondarily, we just added 1,200 charging stations in this country in the last year. 100 a month.
People, I'm not knocking electric cars. They're fine.
Yeah, you are.
They're fine.
They're fine. They're fine. But they're racked with anxiety, and they're only good for 10 minutes, and they're only for rich people, and they're poisonous and toxic, unlike clean liquid gold under our
If
feet.
people want to buy a gasoline car or a hybrid, hybrids are pretty good, actually, but they should be allowed to buy. They don't want to do any of this. So right now, California's in a big brownout.
No, it's not.
Because their grid is a disaster. The grid
California is not in a brownout. What the fuck are you talking about?
all over
It wasn't even true when they taped
the
this.
country is sort of a disaster, but the grid in California.
The country's a disaster, but the grid in California is.
And yet, they want to have in a very short period of time millions and millions of cars going off that grid, essentially. It doesn't work.
So plug your car into a grid that's failing.
You should be able to buy an electric car. You know, electric cars could be fine if you drive short distances and you want to have, you know, whatever, and you have plug-ins every...
Yeah, if you want to have whatever.
There you go. They could be fine. But you got to have gasoline cars. You got to have everything. Let people buy everything.
Yeah, let people buy everything. Create an infrastructure across the entire country and regulations about all of it, especially when most of one particular fuel is made and pulled from the ground in a highly toxic way, burns and puts carbon in the air. Whereas the other ones you could do off of micronuclear or any other systems, geothermal or hydropower.
Now there's the new thing is your heating
Oh, here it is.
systems in the house. They don't want you to have.
They don't want you to have heat in your houses. Democrats want cold winters.
A modern day heating system. They want you to use a heating system that will cost you at least $10,000 to buy and won't work very well.
They want, which one's the modern one? So the one they want you to, so you could have a modern one, or we want you to buy one that is $10,000 more and doesn't work.
You know, none of the stuff works as well.
No, I don't know. None of what you're saying works as well. These words you're using don't work very well.
One of the things I did with EPA is you have states, many states, most of the states.
Oh, shit. Are we getting into like drippy water now?
Have so much water, you know, it comes out of.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He's going like, he's playing the hits. I got to give him that. You know, we're going back to when you take a shower, no water comes out.
Heaven, right? The water pours down and you have it. It's there. It's got to go wherever it goes, into the oceans, whatever.
Yeah, just whatever. It washes off your body. It goes into the oceans and fuck it. Sure.
It's not like a big problem. Now,
No, it's not a big problem. You don't have to like clean it or anything.
some states, they have a problem. You know, you have some desert areas and all, and for that,
Yeah, some desert areas.
it's okay. But they have sinks where no water comes out.
No, they don't. If the water's been shut off, maybe.
You turn it on, no water comes out.
No, pretty much everywhere I go, I turn on a faucet, water comes out. Yeah. And I've been in apartments, houses, offices, truck stops, comedy clubs, gas stations, Airbnbs, all over this fucking country. One thing there are two things that happen. The toilets flush and water comes out of taps pretty consistently. If it doesn't, you can make a phone call.
No water comes out of the shower.
No water comes out of the shower. Are you trying to shower in unfinished buildings?
No water is allowed to go into the washing machine for you.
Well, I suppose he's rich. He's got one of those newfangled washing machines that uses sand.
Your dishes or for your clothing or what?
Whatever machine you wash your machine things when you're washing, when your washer that, you wash things with, the machine that washes the stuff.
And I avoided all of that.
Wait, they have sinks where no water comes out?
Sure, you have restrictors. When I say no water, very little water. You want to wash your hands, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen this, and you turn on the sink and it's very little.
No, he hasn't. He doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Or
yeah, no one knows what you're talking
want to
about.
wash your beautiful hair, right? And you're standing under a shower. Then the suds never go. The water comes out very slowly. I'm sure you've seen this.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen this. You've seen this, haven't you? No one has. No one knows what the ever-loving fuck you are talking about.
Usually takes place in new hotels and new homes.
Yeah, you take a drill and take the
They have
limiter out.
Well, you can, but now they make it so you can't do that so easily.
Or you just buy a new shower head.
They have a restrictor. It's called a restrictor.
Is it called a restrictor?
And it restricts the water.
Ah, well, that's a good name for it then, I guess. That's true. You know what I mean? I don't know. Why don't they call it just the de-waterer?
From coming out. So I ended all of that. And you have to see these, they let the water come out.
They let the water free. I set the water free. I did a thing with the water, and the water story is not working right now. He's not buying it. This is not as exciting as it used to. It seemed like a good idea when I started talking about it, and now
You know what people do? They wash their hands like 5 times longer, or in the washing machine, they'll press for their, let's say, the dishwasher.
Yeah, let's say dishwasher. Run. You know how a dishwasher works. You've washed you've washed a dish in your time. You're a man in his 70s. You've washed a dish or two, haven't you? Maybe on a camping trip or something.
Press it. Then they'll press it about 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how a washing machine works, like an elevator.
They'll end up using more water, and it still won't be very good. I met with the head of Whirlpool. They were practically going out of business during my administration, and they said to me, from Ohio.
So Whirlpool was just going out of business during your administration. Huh.
Incredible, great state. I love Ohio.
It's great. It's great. I mean, obviously, you know, you didn't give a shit enough to, you removed restrictions in terms of the transportation of chemicals, and didn't work out so well in East Palestine. But
they were really doing badly because people were dumping washing machines all over, mostly from South Korea, but also from China. And he was explaining it's just a terrible situation. I said, let me ask you, how's the quality? He says, we're better, but they are good enough quality. But, you know, of course he's going to say that. But, you know, they are better.
I see. People are buying better machines than ours. And, you know, I was like, well, it's a capitalist economy. People can buy whatever the fuck they want. But they're dumping better washing machines than you're making.
I said, but they don't allow us. They're dumping these machines. They're cutting us in half.
They're cutting us in half with these machines that are better than ours. Okay.
They're killing us.
They're killing us with innovation.
And on top of it, the government won't let us use water in our machines. I mean,
what do you think? Foreign washing machines don't have the same limiters on them? What, the rule did not apply to any machine coming into the United States?
He shows me like a quarter of a bottle of water. That's supposed to be washing clothing.
No. Yeah, no, that's not anywhere, not ever.
And I freed it all up, and
You freed it all up.
Put tariffs on these countries that were selling, and the machines coming into the country
that were better and used less water naturally without having to regulate, or maybe put a regulation on that makes them use the same amount of water as the ones that Whirlpool was using while they were no.
And that company went from all the washing machine companies. They make washing machines, they make dryers, they make all of the different machines.
Yeah, all those machines, you know, record players
that do this kind of work, including dishwashers.
Yeah, you know, in general.
And they went from a disaster area to being just thriving.
But can I ask,
they love me in that part of Ohio.
Well, I bet they do, but why should EPA, no one at EPA was elected by anybody,
yeah.
Why do they have the power to decide how much water your washing machine uses? Shouldn't Congress in a democracy get to vote on that?
They do.
Yeah, you could
They have oversight.
say that.
Yeah, you could say that. He has no fucking idea how this works.
They do things that are not very...
So how do you... That's my...
Not very what?
My question, how do you, if you get elected again, go back to Washington...
How do you beat the deep state at the EPA?
How do you keep the agencies under control? How do you keep...
Yeah, how do you stop them from choking off the water that never happened, that apparently he was able to end? So somebody elected was able to define what those rules are.
FBI and CIA specifically under control.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much impact they have on washing machines. I'll have to see. I mean, I don't doubt it. The CIA is everywhere. They probably have tracking devices in my washing machine right now. They're looking at my drawers.
The way you do it, like I fired Comey, that was a big deal. You know, a lot of...
Oh, fuck me. I fired Comey. That's how you do it. Then you scare. The rest of them are all scared. Hold on one second. Let's see. Corporation. Let's see. Let's just go to profit margin. Okay, let's look at go to macro trends. And we'll go here. Here's their operating costs. He ended it, did he say? Okay. Here's... Whirlpool's not doing particularly well. I mean, they definitely saw a heyday post-COVID. I'm not quite sure why. Here's from 2009 to 2023. Here's the gross margin, how much they mark up their shit, how much their profit, and the operations costs drop down way down to here, and then their net margin. They're losing money right now, as it seems, on their stuff. They were getting 1.86% in September of last year, and then something went horribly wrong, and they're making negative 10%. But their gross margin, they dropped their gross margin overall of like 15%. They were up at 21%, and they dropped that. And their operating costs have cadavered, so they just don't have. Nobody's answering the phone when people want service, it would seem. I think that's what's up. Let's see. Worldwide customer registration of household appliances. Market cap 7.4. Revenue $19 billion. Whirlpool Corporation, one of the largest manufacturers of home appliances in the world. Let's see. Their stock name. There's the other ones. Hamilton Beach Brands. Assets, and that's their margins. Their assets and liabilities. Let's see how they're doing over there. Okay. Here's 2020. This is their assets have gone down, but they're also their liabilities have dropped down. They've shed 15% of their liabilities, and they've got 17 billion in let's see, 16.98 billion in assets. There you go. Whirlpool total assets from 2010 to 2023 can be defined as something. Okay, Whirlpool total assets quarter ending is 16 billion, a 7.47 decline year over year. They were doing better last year. They went down 15% from 2021, and then down from 2020. They went, let's see. Yeah. So 2020, they went up. So I guess people were, because of all the house sales. People were like, that makes sense. Revenue and profit. This is Whirlpool right here. So this is the big change. This must have been when he took the drip thing out. He's like, I'm going to let them do their thing. Like I've decided, well, that couldn't be. What, because if that helped when did he go in there and help them out? Was it June of 2020? I doubt it. Did he go to a Whirlpool plant? Anybody remember when he was walking around the PPE plants? Because vaboom, they saw a big spike, and then they went down a little bit. So basically, all things being equal, they've kind of like evened out this hump, like the drop here and the drop here against the spike here. It really hasn't been that much change on a 10-year cycle for them over the last 3 years. That it's about the same profit margin in that regard. So huge deal, huge. But firing Comey really was the key to helping Whirlpool stay basically the same.
A lot of people said, and I fired him very early. Somebody said, oh, I wish you would have fired him. There was a real question about firing him anyway. You understand, because,
yeah, the legality of it, and it's still in question.
They have a 10-year term. There is a question. I fired Comey. That was a great thing. If I didn't fire Comey, maybe I wouldn't be talking to you, or I'd be talking to you about real estate or something else other than politics, right?
No, because you don't know anything about real estate either.
That was a coup, in my opinion. That was a very sick deal. That was the insurance policy. You remember the insurance policy? Oh, she's going to win, darling. She's going to win. But
she's going to win, darling. She's going to win.
Just in case she doesn't, we have an insurance policy. An insurance policy was what they were doing.
Or just the evidence that you were a criminal fuck.
And we caught them with that. That was a very important tweet or whatever it was, text.
Yeah, whatever. What's the difference?
It was a big deal. That was a big deal. The insurance policy. She's going to win 100 million to 1. That's not good odds. At least they gave me 1, right? 100 million to 1. But just in case she doesn't win, we have an insurance policy. And everybody said, that's strange. That's strange. But
we did. We said, that's strange. That's strange. Why wouldn't they just go, the American people will recognize that he's a pussy-grabbing creep?
We caught all of that because I fired Comey. Because when I fired Comey, it was like throwing a rock into a hornet's nest.
More like, I would say, a beehive on a farm where people rely on the bees to make sure that there's a crop next year.
Into a nest of bees, and the
I see. So it ricocheted off the hornets and hit the bees. I see. So it hit. So you throw the rock. Oh, wow. Two. What I don't know. What's the technical classification? Let's see. It's got to be the technical name for them, like, nope. This is bees. What's the difference? Nope, they're all the same. Oh, never mind. You bastard. Yeah, so it's just flying, stinging insects. It's killing 2 different types of flying, stinging insects with 1 stone.
the place went crazy.
So when you were president, are you confident that you knew everything, say, CIA was doing around the world?
No, I'm not.
I didn't, because I was golfing a lot.
It's
required. There was a lot of reading to do, and honestly,
it's a very
it was just. I mean, there's so much, and
I don't read, obviously. Very interesting group of people. I had very good relationships, I thought, but I was a little surprised.
For the record, in all fairness, and this is not a slam on the CIA in any way, but and part of being in the CIA making people think you have a good relationship with them? I mean, wouldn't that be fucking job one? Of course you think that, dickhead. I mean, you're either totally suspicious of them, or you're like, I don't know, not half bad. What am I saying? How did I end up in this hotel room? Why are my pants on backwards? Oh my God, the files are gone.
When I got out, things go on. Look, it's
When I got out, things go on. Yeah, that's not helpful, fuckhead. You don't get points for going, I got home and fucking, I realized I wasn't wearing any underwear. I was like, I think I was wearing underwear when I left the house today. And what's this? Oh my God, my phone is in my ass. Like, you don't get points for, like, I knew it. I knew when I got on that bus with Greg Kelly, it was a mistake.
What were you surprised by?
Everything, apparently, asshole.
I was surprised. I think at some of the people.
I think I was surprised at some of the fucking hell.
Surprised that there was. I had a group of people. Look, we killed many using the CIA. I have to say this. Very bad actors. We were very good at it. You look.
So using the CIA, we killed a lot of bad people, and we were very good at killing a lot of bad people. So I thought I had a pretty good relationship, and then at one point I was like, wait a minute, maybe they think I'm a bad person. Oh shit!
Look at Soleimani. You look at al-Baghdadi, bigger than Osama bin Laden. I mean, Osama bin Laden is, but al-Baghdadi.
No.
Did ISIS, and he was rebuilding ISIS very strongly.
And that was the CIA that did that.
That was really us that did that.
Yeah.
That was really us that did that. And
us. Oh, I see. So you went in with them. So did you kick the door, or were you the sniper a mile and a half away checking the fucking curve of the earth and wind and adjusting your scopage? You didn't do shit. What are you talking? That was us. What do you mean? You and Kudlow got him drunk in a bar and fucking rolled him, and he ended up like you're holding him down in the tub, and then Kudlow was the one who cut him up.
And Soleimani was us that did that, not so much CIA. But
what do you mean us? The fuck does us mean? CIA is us, stupid. Honest to God, the fuck is he talking about?
We did some very good work with the CIA.
Yes, I went in personally. I used. They called me the Baron. I went in under a pseudonym. You hear that pseudo name, and parachuted in. I gave myself. As soon as I landed, I cut the parachute off and gave myself a medal right then.
CIA. what I started, you know, when I looked at the 51 intelligence agents saying that that was the laptop from hell was Russia disinformation, when I took a look at that, I said, that's a horrible thing. They knew it wasn't. They knew it was not.
No, they didn't, and it is.
And by the way, you're talking about cheating on the election?
17% of people would have not sided with it. Bullshit. This is such a garbage thing. Everybody knew about it, fuckhead. It was full-on Streisand effect.
Lachlan.
Streisand. Yeah. I don't know why I said Streisand like it's, you know, Streisand. I used the original German pronunciation of the Streisand.
Great pollsters. They said a thing like that plus other things meant anywhere from
A thing like that plus other
10
things.
to 17% of the vote would change.
Whatever happened to Mike Pence? You
Yeah. You know, I hate this conversation. It's boring and stupid. And everybody, when you bring this up, thinks you're a fucking lunatic. What about Mike Pence?
always been nice to Pence. I've never heard you criticize Pence. You've defended him in public many, many times. He's out there attacking.
Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Womp womp. I'm fine. I spilled my coffee. This is me when I've had too much coffee. What are you doing? 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 I don't know what I'm doing because I've had too much coffee. Ah! Don't drink too much coffee, kids. Let's go back to this thing.
Even outside, it's packed.
I know, it's a big show. Here we go.
Attacking you. What is that?
So Mike wants to run for president. You got to
He is running for president.
understand. In my opinion, Mike Pence had the absolute right to send the votes back to the legislatures.
Yeah, but he didn't. And your opinion doesn't matter. It's the law.
The Democrats and everybody said, you don't have the right. In other words, what I said, is he a human conveyor belt? You mean if he finds fraud in Pennsylvania?
He didn't find fraud in Pennsylvania, and it's not his job. He's not, the founders did not set it up so that the vice president could be an election fraud investigator for the president and on his whim and assumption stop the counting of the electoral ballots. You do realize there were multiple recounts and lawsuits, and all of them failed.
In Georgia, in any of these states, Arizona, he has to send them to Mitch McConnell, right?
Yes, he does.
That's right, sir. Well, if he finds fraud, he has to. Yes, sir. I said, so he's a conveyor belt. Boom, put him in.
Yes, he's just there to count them.
I said, I don't agree with that.
So fucking what?
And we had some lawyers.
That's like going, I don't understand. I have a man on the inside and I can't use him? Good Lord.
Not all. We had some lawyers that said, no, you do have the right to send them back to the legislatures to be rechecked.
Yes. One of them just turned himself in to the Fulton County DA today.
Because if you looked at what went on in Wisconsin, who, by the way, now agree with me, Wisconsin
No, they don't.
has been virtually, other than the fact they're not allowed to do anything statutorily, but Wisconsin has been, I mean, what they found is incredible. I mean, we won Wisconsin.
No, you didn't.
But Mike Pence had the right, in my opinion, to send them back.
Do you ever talk to him now?
No, I haven't spoken to him in a long time.
Yeah, because, you know, I know how to pick him. You know, I haven't talked to Mike Pence in ages, and I chose DeSantis was going to lose, but I saved his campaign so that he could fuck me later. because that's the kind of judge of character I am. You should put me in the White House because I haven't fixed this at all.
I was very disappointed in him.
Yeah, well, what? Which part? That he wasn't hung?
I didn't want to do what Thomas Jefferson
Sorry, hanged. I don't know what their personal relationship is like.
did. Thomas Jefferson, it was Georgia, and it was hear ye, hear ye, the great state of Georgia is not capable or allowed to tabulate their votes. And Thomas Jefferson, who was the vice president, said, is Georgia sure that they cannot tabulate their votes? Georgia is sure. He didn't send it back and have them redo it. He said, we will keep the votes of the great state of Georgia for Thomas Jefferson and his president. I didn't ask him for that. Could have done that too, but I didn't. I thought that would be.
Jesus Christ. Why is Tucker Carlson suddenly doing a Corleone impersonation?
You come to me and this, we're sitting in a sauna. I was sitting in a sauna.
Also, no. And secondly, you know they used to bring the votes in a fucking covered wagon then.
Turmoil. I asked him to send him back to his legislature, to
who I had filled with people who would lie about the outcome of the election and bounce it back to me.
the legislatures, you know, in Wisconsin, let's say.
But why didn't he? I mean, you'd worked together for 4 years. You're the president. He's VP.
He's around you all the time. Did he see something in you where he's like, holy fuck, we have to get this guy out of the White House because he's a danger to everyone. Oh, dear God, how could I have ever been so gullible? Did he have a moment like that?
You say you're aligned on everything.
I think he got very bad advice. I really do. Now, let me tell you what happened.
Of course, you have to say that because this defense is crucial to your case in Georgia. Doesn't matter. The documents case is going to fuck you into a cocked hat.
I sat there with a few people. I think his lawyer was in the room too. His lawyer was very much against it. There were other lawyers that felt you could do it. It was.
Yeah, Sidney fucking Powell. She got indicted too. We looked at her mugshot. You want to see it? I don't know who else is. Anybody here seen the fucking Sidney Powell mugshot? Super. Here we go. Open up, you silly thing. There you go. Hey, lovely people. Yes, these people. These are the people who thought it was a good idea. These are the people, right? This fucking maniac down at the bottom. Sidney Powell in the middle. Rudy. Jenna thinks it's great.
It's one of those things. I think you could have done it.
Right, but you can't, and you don't actually believe that, but you have to keep saying you believe it because that's how you think you're going to beat this rap, and it won't work.
I think you can always do something if you see fraud or if you see problems.
No, if you see fraud where there is none, you're a fucking crazy person.
But it's very interesting. So after the election was over, the rhinos got together with the Democrats.
After you lost, you mean?
And they redid the election, so you couldn't do it anymore. So then I called the people. I said, so in other words, you're saying I was right. You could do it. Yes, you could do it.
No, that's not what they're saying. They were worried that that language would allow somebody with clever lawyers to try and manipulate the system again, so they just clarified it. As, by the way, the next time you click a link to update the terms of service on any account you have, just leave it. Don't bother. Don't update it. Nope. If there's a security update on your computer or anything like that, it's because you should have been hacked.
In other words, they took the Voting Act and they redid it so the vice president no longer has the power to do what I said he could do. So when that happened...
No, they just clarified the language to make sure nobody else tries because they're worried that in the future there might be somebody as evil but more clever.
And I said, wow, so...
Wow.
And, you know, you'd look some of these Democrats in the eye and they'd say, he has absolutely no right to do it.
Right. Yes. And again, you can clarify the language to make sure nobody even fucking tries.
And immediately after the election, they met rhinos, could name them all, and
go for it. Try one. I mean, you'll say McConnell, but then who?
Democrats.
Yeah, wuss.
And they approved legislation that takes away the right of the vice president to do it. So I said, so you're saying I was right. The vice president did have the right to do it. And they said, yes, he did.
So
no, they didn't.
if you're saying
none of those people said that to him. I don't know what the fuck.
They stole it from you last time. Why wouldn't they do the same this time?
Oh, well, they'll try. They're going to be trying, yeah. But, and not only me, you know. Look.
Right. Weirdly, but they only stole it from you. Apparently all the other Republicans that got elected, somehow magically they didn't get it stolen from them, even as awful as they are. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz. Why wasn't theirs stolen? Especially Lauren Boebert, because that whole fucking state mails in.
DeSantis is out. I think he's gone. So he was at a level. People have figured him out. He's gone. But if somebody else got in, other than me, they'll go at him just as viciously.
Oh, it's going to be a him then? Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's no fucking way the Republicans elect a woman. You're right.
As they did me. These people are sick. They will go after them. And a lot of people say,
well, won't there be? I don't disagree. I mean, sure. I mean, vengeance is is a dish best served up cold, I suppose. But I do have one question. What if, and I know this is an impossibility, but what if, say, it's Chris Christie or something like that, and they don't try to manipulate a foreign leader by withholding arms, and that country is an ally, against one of our mortal enemies on the planet, or they don't try to foment an insurrection, or if they don't steal classified documents. What if they don't do that? What are they going to use against them? I'm just, how are they going to, hang on, I don't know. That's the one part of the plan. As a Democrat, I would love to know, because obviously we want to throw Chris Christie in jail for nothing, since we're getting so good at doing it with you, I guess.
They won't be able to hold up. I do get credit for holding up quite well, I must tell you. I think it's...
I don't know if you are, though.
They don't like the gas.
How do you do that? How do you get indicted, every week?
Yeah, is it just because you're a sociopath, or
stay cheerful?
It's, I think it's a lot easier because I'm so high in the polls, because it means the people get it. The people see it's a fraud. The people see it, like this horrible district attorney from just a little while ago.
Yeah, like, I think I'm holding up because the people like me so much, because this bitch is making my life miserable, and I can't fucking turn around without them going, but I'm holding it together. I'm doing very well. And I think it's because people love me so much, and they like it. I don't know why, but my followers just seem to they love it when I'm attacked. And so I guess I just got to keep getting attacked. Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. God, that's why.
From essentially Atlanta. It's Fulton County.
Essentially, Atlanta.
You
look like you're holding it together. This is the face of a man that's holding it together. Yeah, what's the problem?
Said basically I don't have any right to challenge an election. Well, what about Stacey Abrams? What about Hillary Clinton? What about...
Well, you can bitch all you want. That's free speech. It's the behind the scenes fucking phone calls. Neither one of them did that. Neither one of them put people made people attack the fucking Capitol to try and get it undone. You could bitch about shit forever. You can go, I was robbed in every fucking thing. But believe me, there are Super Bowl players that still think they should have won the game and the fucking Super Bowl was robbed from them. But as long as they don't break into somebody's house and try to steal their fucking Super Bowl ring, or I should have gotten the Heisman Trophy, so they break into a house and steal it and then get a new plate made, they're fine.
About all of
Laces out.
These Democrats that are still challenging my election. The same people that are saying he's challenging an election challenged my election.
Yeah, but they didn't attack anyone. They didn't try to scheme and change the electors. They just bitched about it.
And they did it with slates. They did it with all sorts
slates
of things. They were very...
Yes, what were the slates like? Tell us about the slates.
Very bad.
Chip, what are you doing? He seriously doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Very bad about it.
Oh, they're terrible. They're terrible about it. Terrible. Can I help you? What are you doing? I'm doing a show. I'm almost done. There's not much left of this. Thank God. Hold on. Let's just see if... Do we have a... Yeah. There you go. There he is.
But basically, they're suing me. And
Basically,
they're saying you don't have any right to challenge it. If you challenge an election, we're going to indict you and put you in jail.
no, you got to challenge it. You had your lawyers traipsing around and stuff. They just lied, and you were lying to people, and you were trying to manipulate the halls of power to stay in office. Again, none of this is about you bitching, even on the ellipse that day.
So what they're doing is they've weaponized, and don't kid yourself, the DOJ and Biden and the whole group, they're watching all of this stuff.
Oh, they're watching all of it.
They love the local stuff. You know, the
Oh, they do. They love it local. I love it nice and hard and local. What?
DA in Manhattan. Not only that, they put one of the DOJ top people into the Manhattan DA's office to run things. They don't even have a case against me. It's not even a case. Everyone says, even the Democrats say, you can't bring these cases. You have no case.
No, not really. He just gave me the paw. Chip, what are you doing?
The Attorney General.
He smells the spilt coffee, and he's licking. He's like, what's this taste like? It smells like something, but I don't like it.
Or the
That's what I need, you on caffeine, you crazy pants.
District Attorney.
Uh-oh, he's behind the green screen now. Trouble with the capital D.
Fannie Willis.
Fawny, but sure.
In Atlanta, she's getting killed. Basically,
What? No, she's not.
she's saying Trump doesn't have the right to criticize an election.
No, that's not at all what she's saying. You can criticize it all the fuck you want. As a matter of fact, that's what Stacey Abrams and Hillary Clinton both did. They just didn't conspire to undermine the functions of the election.
But you've been around long enough now. You've seen many elections criticized. I mean, Hillary Clinton goes crazy. Every time she talks, she says, he's not the president. Jimmy Carter said, he's not the president.
Jimmy Carter did?
Well, I am the president. Hillary Clinton
No, you were the president. You're not anymore.
called me, by the way, at 3:02 in the morning to congratulate me.
Right, she conceded. That was the fucking point. You never did.
The night of the election.
Right, and she didn't gather a bunch of people and try to attack the Capitol while they were counting your votes.
Did her voice crack?
Well, her voice was, it's very different, I will say.
It was very different when she was saying the things that she was
I
saying.
won't get into that, but
What do you mean?
Why not?
her voice was very different. Don't forget, they were all celebrating at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I came home and I said, you know, I think we won. I felt we won because the rally.
Chip, get out of there. Come here. Get back. What are you doing? He's like, I can get his attention. I'll crawl around where the wires are. Get out of there. What are you doing?
Rallies are so big. You know, we'd go to
Now he's going into the bathroom. This is bad.
Wisconsin and we'd go to Georgia. We'd go to different states. In Michigan, we'd have rallies. In Pennsylvania, we had 58,000 people. And
Glory days. Young girls' eyes, glory days.
Butler. And I said, you know, how are we losing this? How do you have a rally where you have from 50
This is the same fucking people, dummy.
to 100,000 people, many of them? You know, I did 7 a day for a couple of days. That's a lot. That's a lot. These are big rallies, too. And I didn't hold back. I didn't say, let's make them let's do abbreviations, right? But they challenged the stuff.
Chip, don't attack. Don't attack. Chip, come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? What the heck? Buddy, I love you, but I'm almost done. And then we'll have snuggle time, okay? I promise. Okay? Okay? I know. Can you please? Give me a bit of a break? Thank you. Excellent. He's like, let's go to the door. Right. I left the door slightly ajar. We'll see if he pushes it back open.
Yeah.
Hillary called me up and conceded. Now, the word is that Obama said you have to do that. But she called up.
So he was doing the honorable thing too. Who did anybody call you and say you should concede?
I totally conceded. But now, you know, every time you see her on television, she's saying like, well, she's challenging the election.
But again, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Do you think
So that would mean that she should be indicted, but that would mean also that Stacey Abrams in Georgia should be indicted.
No, like this is all right. This is just fucking dumb, This is oddly stupid. Like, this is a blind spot that is just, it's bizarre. Like, I don't know how anybody listened to this. Like, what energy is it taking Tucker Carlson to not go, well, they didn't actually attack the election. That's the case they're going to make. At least explain the difference to him, because he can't be, they didn't call Raffensperger and go, come on, fellas, just give me 11,780 votes, or tell you what, just say it was rigged and I'll get my guys to, I'll get the Republican Congress to work it out.
Because she still thinks she won the election for governor. She still thinks that. She's never recanted.
Recanted.
And
Do you think Stacey Abrams will be indicted for that?
No, of course not. She won't be. The Democrats don't get indicted for things like that. They don't.
Well, nobody does. Nobody gets indicted for that. What the living shit are you talking about?
Get impeached. No, it's a different thing. With that being said,
yes,
I had great support when they did impeachment hoax #1 and impeachment hoax #2.
Oh my gosh, you guys! Thank you, Kathy.
Jim Jordan. The House was fantastic, and actually the Senate was very good for me. Other than Mitch McConnell, I think if he had, it's too bad.
Are you? Oh, okay. First of all, for the record, Mitch McConnell is the only reason this motherfucker has a lasting legacy of any sort, and it's the Supreme Court. If it wasn't for Mitch McConnell, Roe would still be in place, quite frankly. Because if he hadn't held that seat, Trump would have only replaced 2 of those people. That wouldn't have been enough to get rid of Dobbs is arguable, both of them. I don't think they would have ever made it. I don't think they would have swung for it if they didn't have all 3 seats.
I endorsed him. He was begging. He was going to lose that race, and I endorsed him, and he ended up winning the race.
Everybody says this. He says this about everybody. And again, why do you get points? This is a sticking point with me, and it keeps coming up. Why the fuck does he think he should get points for people that he stood up for, and they were gonna lose, but he put them over the finish line, and they would have been out if it wasn't for him, and then they turned on him. Why do you get points for that? Doesn't that just show everyone what a shit judge of character you are? Hype train.
Amy McGrath, she was $90 million in cash, all set to go. She was leading by 3. He was going down. I did him a favor, and then 3-4 months later, he really wanted to impeach me. He's a bad guy. But
because of what you did.
But if you look at what's going on politically.
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, it's just like at no time we've ever the thing that we've never seen before. There's never been a like this.
So interesting. Before. The level of loyalty is different in politics than it is in normal life, I will say.
Right. You throw everyone under the bus. By the way, no, in your life it isn't. I would like to say for the record that Donald Trump's standard of loyalty is probably one of the most consistent I've ever seen, which is I'm only loyal to you until you outlive your usefulness, and you are supposed to be loyal to me no matter how badly I treat you. That's the Trump system.
With that being said, I've had great loyalty also. But
like who? Like who? Melania and Justin Trudeau? Those are the 2 people you can always count on. Behind that's the one thing. While you're busy giving a speech, one thing, they're not laughing about you.
The House,
they're too busy.
Was fantastic. The Senate was very good. They overrode Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, in my opinion, was trying to get senators to impeach me, especially for the second one. And
what was the second one for? Oh, the one where you sent your followers to try and fucking murder the vice president.
And the first one, he acted very, very slow. He should have gone much faster. But Mitch McConnell wanted to, and the senators went up to him, guys that are subservient to him because he gives money. He gives them money. He gives them a lot of money. He raises some money and he gives it to them, and therefore they do.
Unlike you, who you raise a lot of money and then spend it on yourself. By the way, this is one of the best things about Trump's legal woes and him being a complete asshole, is that he is sucking money out of all the Republican super PACs, all the fundraising that is, that the Republicans could normally count on. He's hoovering that shit up and it's pouring right down his gullet, and he's just spraying diarrhea of it all over Mar-a-Lago and his lawyer's office. That's it.
What he said, that's the only form of leadership he's got.
So last question, if
thank God
you're elected president again,
Won't happen.
What's your number one priority?
Yeah, what's it? Is it, well, we got to get it back because we were going so well.
When you ran last time, you said, I will build a wall. This time, you're...
Yeah, what, you're going to build the rest of the wall and not get Mexico to pay for it?
Bottom line, top promise to the
So
country.
you can do numerous things at the same time.
Of course, but he wants one, and so try.
Of course.
But let's say number one is a border. And
So it's the same thing. You're running on the same shit. So you were there for 4 years, and Mexico was going to build a wall 100%, and and that was that. And so you're basically running on choking off Texas's entire economy.
taking hundreds of thousands of criminals that have been allowed into our country and getting them out and bringing them back to their country, Guatemala. By the way,
Guatemala. Why specifically? Is that because all the Guatemalan master criminals all go work at Mar-a-Lago?
not only the 4 countries that we think of as neighbors,
Yeah, the 4 big crimey countries, yeah.
all over the world. Last month, we had 149 countries represented. Think of it. We had 149
Didn't you say 142 a couple days ago? Do I give a shit? No.
countries represented, Tucker, from places that many people never even heard of.
Right. Tell us one of them. Yeah. There's little countries like Flegelaslenberg and Fujihir Marafastastan. That's a crazy place. Lots of people come from there.
Coming into our country.
And what? Opening up taco trucks? Is that the big fear?
They're coming in from mental institutions and they're coming in from prisons. They're emptying out their prisons all over South America.
And who knew that all of South American lunatics are really good at helping you out if you're at Home Depot?
They're emptying out their mental institutions.
Well, I mean, certainly they'd want to keep some just for show, wouldn't you?
Terrorists are pouring into our country. We have no idea. I had the strongest border.
Well, you seem to have an idea. You seem to think it's hundreds of thousands, and yeah. I mean, obviously you have some idea. Maybe just say it.
In the history of our country. And I built almost 500 miles of wall. You know, they like to say, oh, was it less? No. I built 500 miles. In fact,
It was less.
if you check with the authorities on the border, we built
The authorities?
almost 500
Is that another country? Authority? Is that like Atharistan? And they just call them authorities? Yeah.
miles of wall.
Bullshit!
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, at this point, is it even worth fact-checking
And
it?
I had another 200 that I was going to build. You know,
Yeah, so good. It was going to be 700 miles of wall now. It's amazing. And actually, if you really think about it, it was sort of 1,000 because it's so tall.
like water, it seeks.
It's like water, it seeks. Yes, these crazy lunatic savages from these impossible foreign countries that no one's ever heard of. They just seek like water. They're like, be like water, my friend. When you pour it, the bottle becomes the bottle. You pour it in a cup, it becomes the cup. Be like water, my friend.
And we're going to build another 200. We built it. It was all set to go. All they had to do
Yeah, it was all. It was built. It just wasn't built.
was install it. It would have taken 3 weeks. And that's when I
I thought it was 2 weeks.
found out. I said, I think these people actually want open borders.
Or they were like, when does the check from Mexico get here?
The first thing I would do would be I would seal up the border good and tight,
Just seal it up good and tight.
except for people that want to come in legally.
Do you think we're moving towards civil war?
Yeah. Okay, border. Boring. Let me end with something. This has been really dull and stupid and kind of a droning mess and, quite frankly, ass. Do you think we're going to kill each other? Do you think murder, doom and murder? What do you think?
There's tremendous passion.
Mm-hmm. Passion, especially from the people on my side that have guns and don't like people with blue hair.
And there's tremendous love.
Yes, passionate love. So it'll be like imagine the Civil War like Gettysburg, but like everyone's naked and oiled up and sorry, my mind started to drift for a second.
January 6th was a very interesting day because
I agree.
they don't report it properly.
No, they don't. They don't report it properly. So, yeah, I'm a little confused. So it was the FBI made it happen, and yet they were showing love for you, and these were upset people because Mike Pence didn't do the right thing, but they were also CIA informants or something.
I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before, and you know some of the crowds I've spoken before.
Uh-huh.
And like July 4th on the mall, I think they had
Yeah, it's basically the same crowd, but armed.
1 million people there. But I think that...
You think so, but were there? I mean, you do realize at that point you were president of the United States. You were uniquely qualified to know the exact fucking number. To the person, I might add. Like the amount of security in Washington, D.C., and especially the information that the president of the United States has access to. And you had another couple of weeks. You could have sat down with somebody. I'd have memorized that motherfucker. Right? I mean, the biggest crowd I've ever performed for, I think, was 15,000 people. Panther Pavilion in Miami. And it was ridiculous. It was like I opened for the Bee Gees on Y2K. And it was just absurd. It was like performing comedy on the deck of an aircraft carrier facing the ocean. As for music, perfect size. For stand-up, weird. There is a physical limit, I think, on the audience you can have for stand-up, where to the point where it just becomes like awkward. Where you're like, because the laughter comes in waves and then comes back, and it's a mess. But I pulled it off, and I was rock solid. Thank you very much. But I remember it was 15,000. I want to say at one point it was 15,261. I don't know if that was the exact number for real, or if they were counting the crew or the capacity of the place plus the production crew, whatever, because it was packed. And I was like, I'll just say 15,261. And I was like, for a while I would just like, biggest crowd ever, 15,261. And if he's saying it was a million, we had somebody look. It was 1.7 million people, or even 1.7. It was 1,713,285. I remember them told that. They told me that number, and I was aghast.
The biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was on January 6th. And
nice, Diane.
People that were in that crowd, a very, very small.
I am covered in chip hair. It's true. I still have chip hair in because I'm not clean shaven today per se. I have a little bit of whisker and it's just sticking.
Group of people, and we said patriotically and peacefully and patriotically, right? Nobody ever says that.
Yeah, they say it, but it's weird. But you told them to walk down there that way. Like walk through the mall like civilized people, but once you get there, fuck them up.
Go peacefully and patriotically.
Yeah, till you get there. And then you're going to have to fight like hell or we won't have a country. Duh. Again, you don't want to tip off. It's like saying, okay, we're going to walk very quietly to the crime scene. Nobody make a lot of noise because we don't want to let the cops know that we're going to be there.
But people that were in that crowd that day, very small group of people went down there, and then there are a lot of scenarios that we can talk about.
Yeah, go ahead. You're not going to because you got a minute left. Lots of scenarios. You mean the fact that a big chunk of them, like the Oath Keepers and other groups, had planned in coordination with Mark Meadows and Roger Stone and Steve Bannon and you and your dickhead lawyers and all that stuff to attack the fucking place and basically seal it off and make them send them back to the States by force? After, of course, you'd had somebody shoot Nancy Pelosi in the head in front of her daughter on film, I suppose, and then maybe kill the rest of them like they're going to distinguish. And then, of course, after you hang the vice president, and then I guess, gosh, who wants to jockey to be vice president after that?
But people in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There
was love in that crowd. Love, and and sometimes love goes crazy, and love just says we have to hang that person. But with love.
It was love and unity.
It was love. It was love. Not for Mike Pence, obviously.
Unity.
A unity of purpose. So like they all wanted to hang Mike Pence, and we love that.
I have never seen
Love like that ever since. I'm brokenhearted. Even Melania, even in her face, like I can just tell she's looking at me going, oh, Justin, I wish you were here. And it's terrible.
Such spirit and such passion and such love. And I've also never seen simultaneously and from the same people such hatred of what they've done to our country.
So do you think it's possible that there's open conflict? We seem to be moving towards something.
I don't know, because I don't know what it...
Here's what you say. I certainly hope not, and it would not be right. That's not how we settle things in the United States. I mean, it's pretty fucking easy. You have a moment here, as a grown fucking human being with children and grandchildren, to go, oh, this would be fucked up. If a war broke out, I don't know that I could protect everybody, and even some of the people I like would get killed if you're going to be a selfish prick like he is. You just flat out just say, that's not how we settle things in the United States.
You know, I can say this. There's a level of passion that I've never seen. There's a level of hatred that I've never seen, and that's probably a bad combination.
I mean, but that's MAGA, right?
Donald Trump, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you.
That is a bad combination, by the way.
Bad combination.
Yeah, but nothing like these two together. Nothing's a bad combination like Freezy McDon't-touch-me pants and Weird Mangina hands over here sitting at Bedminster in, I don't know, the Cedar Shed? Right? What the fuck is that place? Did you think they walked over to Ivana's grave after this? And, you know, with a couple of putters? Anyways,
Thank you.
That's it. That's the end of it. We made it. I made it through the rain. All right, we'll do the debate tomorrow, but fucking hell. What a mess. And thank you. I'll fix the sound thing tomorrow. I don't know why that is. I think there was an update of the software and they didn't tell me. That's what I do have stamina. It's true. I don't want to brag, but either way, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging around. And let me tell you that isn't going anywhere. That horrible mess is not going anywhere near the White House ever again. Period. End of story. It ain't going to happen. Ask any of the Republicans that have any, massive groups of voters, and they're just fucking not going to show for this asshole. And a bunch of the maggots aren't going to vote because they think it's already fixed anyways. He's killing his own get out the vote before it even started. So fear not, relax in that. I stayed up all night with you in the 2020 election, and I'm even calmer about this one. That should tell you something. Thanks for liking the stream. Don't forget to hit the like on your way out if you feel like it. And then, of course, you can support the show. There's a Venmo thing right here. Just take a picture of that with your phone, and you can send me, $5 or a cup of coffee or something like that. And we're saving up for a new computer to build on the thing. And it's be cool. I'm just saying, we're gonna. This might be the year where I go full. But not. I wouldn't say I'd go, full like evangelical mega church pastor, but borderline Reverend Gene Scott territory, where I just move into the sitting in a chair with a chalkboard on a horse ranch, with sacks of money buried on the property, kind of period of my career. That's what I'm going for. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Love you. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And thanks for the stars, folks on Facebook. We have almost 90,000 followers on the Facebook page now. Honest to God, I thought it had stalled at 50. I wasn't even paying attention while we were chasing down the YouTube numbers. We're at 55,000 on YouTube. We got 90,000 people following the page on Facebook. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Share us around. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Now I gotta go pet Chip. I just gotta go sit on the couch and let him climb on my legs and bite my hand because I wasn't petting him enough. Because that's how it works out. And you know why? Because